I set up an online coaching business from scratch with zero experience, and I built an automated selling system. And it took me 4 hours and 51 minutes. How? I followed our own program as a fictional coach with no offer, no niche, no following, and no clients. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did, play by play. Just thought I'd make this as exciting a series as possible. Why did I do this? It's because the most common reason that people say that they struggle with setting up an online coaching business is, I don't have enough time, I don't know my niche, I'm bad with tech, I don't have enough experience, I don't have a big enough following, it takes too long, it's too hard, all that stuff. And after helping over 1,000 people become profitable online coaches, you'll see in this video that those things are just excuses. The real reason is that we get in our own way. Imposter syndrome, procrastination, overthinking, because as you'll see, this stuff isn't hard. You've just got to show up, hire a mentor for a bit of guidance and direction, put the blinkers on and stay the course.
Yusuf's run through, that is a massive game changer. Because I'll be honest, I've done a few coaching programs in the past and obviously it didn't work, but that is the smartest thing ever. Because that literally lessens my overwhelm and my anxiety. Like I'm just watching the video, then applying, putting it on pause, applying, watching it again, right? And just seeing him step by step.
So I'm creating a new fictional offer that's outside of my area of expertise. I'll be setting up a profile, creating my new offer, picking a traffic method, setting up Pulse, our software platform, and creating an automated selling system. And I'm going to be quick and dirty about it. So I'll be including all of the stumbles and outtakes that you can laugh at me making along the way. Hey, welcome aboard to the, what's this called? The 14-day breath challenge, stress transformation challenge. Hey, welcome aboard to the 14-day stress transformation challenge. And you'll probably watch it and think, I'd have done a way better job of that or that. Great, brilliant, because if this is me flying by the seat of my pants in 5 hours, then you can definitely do a better job of this.
Hello. Hello, Yusuf. Coach Clarissa here. This voice note was so distressing to hear that it actually sent me into heart palpitations, and for this reason my advice to you is to just quit the program. In fact, because you're so bad, we are actually going to pay you to never contact us again and to never be associated with Propane. Delete Telegram, leave the country, and just pretend that this never happened. I hope you take my constructive criticism well, and all the best for your new life.
Clarissa, please. I want to make a success of this. Don't just pay me to go away. So save this video. Yes, it's long, but it's a walkthrough of creating a life-changing business. If that is too long for you, please let me know in the comments below what immensely high leverage way you're spending your time that's more profitable than this. Depending on your level of personal responsibility, this video might piss you off and you'll make excuses about why you specifically wouldn't be able to get this result. Or hopefully you'll be motivated, you'll watch it and you'll be like, this isn't so bad. I'm just going to get moving. I'm just going to have some fun with it. So I'm doing this with a focus on getting up and running with clients as soon as possible, without procrastinating, without overthinking or getting stuck in side quests. And finally, I picked a coaching offer that's outside of my area of expertise so that I don't just have imposter syndrome, I am an imposter. So the reason that setting up Propane took so long when we started is that we spent too long trying to fix the wrong problem and working on the wrong stuff. We didn't have a blueprint, which is what I'm giving you right now, and this video covers the fastest way to do it, which does involve some manual basic bitch methods to get my first 10 clients.
I mean, Yusuf, I'll be honest with you, I'm the fattest I've ever been at the minute.
Then pulling the ripcord and building the automated system that you can then scale with ads and that can run hands off. So I've done my best to edit this down for you, but if you want to see the full 5 hours and actually join the program that I'm following, we're very happy to chat with you and walk through how the 4-step framework that we teach applies to your business. The program is obviously the full shebang with all of the support structures and software and templates and ad swipe files and all that stuff. But the first step is booking a call. And that's the same step that Phoebe took to make 36K on her first launch. It's the first step that Carl made to make $6,105 in profit on his first launch, selling swimming coaching during lockdown. It's what Jay did to make £3,500 in a week. It's what David did to make an 8.6 times return on his ad spend on his first launch. And it's why Greg made 5K this week. But if you're watching that and you're like, oh, that sounds terrible. Ugh, I don't want to transform my life with guidance and support, then don't worry. You can download the blueprint instead. So just comment blueprint below and we will send that to you for free. So let's go.
Let's go.
So I thought this would be a bit of fun. I'm going to do a propane speed run where I'm just going to bash through the program as if I'm a new coach just starting. So welcome. Please follow the next steps. All right. So propane one-to-one coach, join the propane Telegram channel and your coach will be in touch on Monday. All right. So let's access one-to-one coaching. All right. I'll join Telegram. There we go. That took 2 seconds. We're very much looking forward to working with you. Join the members community and watch the Start Here module for the first steps. All right, so let's join the community. And here we are, the Start Here section. Okay, so the first video is 14 minutes. All right, so the key needle mover is putting your offer in front of the right people on repeat. And we want to first get 10 one-to-one clients, get the cash first, and then buy back time, get some quick wins. All right, I'm on board with that. And then we're going to build the group coaching system like this. Ooh, sounds a bit complicated to me, but maybe let's just start with the basics. Cool. All that stuff we cover. And then each week setting up the moving parts. I'm going to set this up as my default fallback activity, get it in the calendar. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to go for a morning walk for 1 hour and listen to PB modules. All right, so let's set that as a repeating event every day. I'm not going to have any of these excuses with life getting in the way. Right, so I'm going to be aware not to do any of the things that are in the failure uniform, and I'm going to welcome the self-improvement aspect of all of this. I'm going to try and do the stuff that the successful coaches do. All right, consistently apply the basics, keep things moving, action bias, and focus on the needle movers. All right, I'll bear that in mind. Stay accountable, self-care, and implement. I'm going to have a bath and some ice cream for my self-care. So it looks like the message here is to market validate rather than continue to ask other people who are not in my niche about whether my stuff is okay or not. Fine. And be specific about what's the goal, and then use a structured, searchable note app from day one. Okay, well, I use Apple Notes, so simple and quick. I'll start doing that. All right, so what I'll do then, I want to save this down. So I'm going to open a new Apple Note and paste that stuff in there. All right, so I'm going to book a hot seat. Next one is with this sexy looking man on Monday. So, Yusuf, hello. I'm new to the program. Just getting oriented. I can make the call live. And my coach is still waiting. Just signed up. So, booked onto a hot seat. Say hello in the community. Okay. Hey guys. Excited to get started. My name is Yusuf and I've always had a fascination with the mind and body. Looking forward to growing an online fitness business. Cool. Oh, and finally, what's this? Clients on a plate. Oh, well, amazing. I haven't got any inquiries currently. So let's click on that thread and see. Looks like a whole bunch of people who are looking for coaches and don't have one. Well, the latest post 2 weeks ago from Lynette, looking for someone to coach my hairdresser. She's 45, mum of 2, fattest she's ever been. She's got health anxiety. I mean, I can send her a message. Hey, Lynette. I'm keen to get in touch with her. I can have a quick call to see if it's a good fit. Great. So I've sent her that. Maybe that one will come through. There's potentially my first client and we're only 10 minutes in. Cool. So I'm looking for a coach myself or to offer my services in the program. Yeah, why not? I'll add myself to the coaches database. Oh, and then are you looking for a coach yourself to offer your services? Well, yeah, I suppose if I sign up with a fitness coach myself, I'll get a good experience in seeing what works and what doesn't. So I'll click on the coaches database. Might as well add myself to this too. So here are all the coaches within the program that help people with various things. I'd like to sign up with Lars because I could do with some mindset, life coaching, and strength and physique. Yeah, I'm a skinny fat man and I'm feeling overwhelmed with all the training. Yeah, cool. I'll get in touch with Lars. So I'll send him an email now. All right, so I've done the quick start guide, done a couple of side quests as well. And remember, the big needle mover is putting your offer in front of people on repeat. Brilliant. Well, I've already done that with one of the client inquiries. What's next? Even if you take nothing else from the program, this is the big money maker. And that's the tracking sheet and CRM stuff. You can work with your own software. Well, I don't have any software right now, so let's do Pulse. Okay, cool. So get the tasks in the calendar. Great. Distraction. The mark of an elite performer is how fast they move from idea to execution. All right, I will bear that in mind. So complete lesson, move on. Personal dashboard. Got it. So it looks like this is a workbook associated with tasks in the modules. So let's have a look through this. Before your onboarding call with your coach, go through the start here section. Done. And the niching modules and niching exercise below. All right, I'll do that. And go through the goal setting exercise below. All right, well, let's go through that now. So define your goal. What's your main reason for your financial target? I want to quit the day job by matching my income from the office. What's the average monthly income from the business? 0. And if we'd set an income goal with no, right, so how many days per week would you like to work? Ideally 4. When would you ideally start working every day? I like working early, so I'm happy to do 7. When would you finish? I'd like to finish early as well, so 3 p.m. Which 1 to 2 days will you commit to taking fully off? Weekends. What's a hobby that you'll do on those days? BJJ, putting people in chokeholds and rolling around with sweaty men. One habit that you know you can do to improve your well-being. I think fully switching off and turning off my notifications. I'm really bad for checking my notifications, so if I can turn those off, that would be a big win for me. All right, using the program, I decide how much time I can dedicate to this. I can decide on my goal based on my constraints. Well, currently I've only got 10 hours a week to focus on this. Is that enough to achieve my goal? So I've got 12 weeks with my one-to-one coach, and so I only need 10 hours of focused work on the roadmap tasks. And then I can start running a test ad budget of £10 a day for 10 days. All right, that's doable. Do I want to skip the outbound marketing? No, I think I'm going to do the program as written. And then we've got technical hurdles and troubleshooting. No issues currently. All right, getting specific. So what's my goal monthly revenue? I would like to make $3,000 a month from online coaching to begin with. Recurring clients. Okay, so I want 30 people on recurring and 75% of them stay on after 6 to 12 weeks, which means that I would then need slightly more than 30. So 30 divided by 75 is 42, so similar to the number in the example. And then 14-day challenge, ad conversion. I want 3% of conversion leads to sales. Okay, well, I'm not up to that bit yet. I don't know about things like ad spend, so I'm going to hold off for that for now. Cool. So looking at the numbers, what needs the most work? I mean, 3,000 a month seems like a lot because I'm currently at 0 a month from online coaching. So what do I feel? I think it's going to be time. I think it's going to be my belief systems. All right. What's one thing I could do to work on that? I guess I can follow the program, discuss my concerns with my coach, and I suppose building confidence is about building a stack of evidence of results from the work. So I suppose what I need to do is start doing the needle moving activities, speaking to leads, getting some clients in so that I can have this undeniable evidence that I'm actually moving forward with this. Cool. What can I do over the next week to start moving forward? I think it's the stuff that I've been recommended. So complete the niching exercise, onboarding call with my coach. I've got my hot seat booked in. Targets for the quarter. Okay, so I don't know about the ad spend, so I'm going to jump on a hot seat and discuss this section with somebody. And then bottlenecks and blocks. Okay, so what are the problems? I think block 1 is lack of knowledge on the ads. Solution 1. Well, I wonder if there's an ads section. If I press Command K, like I was advised to, ads. Oh yeah, there is an ads section in the program. So I think it would be to watch the ads section when relevant. Block 2, internal blocks. Solution, well, I'm working with a coach. See what they suggest. And also, as I said, build the undeniable stack of proof by doing the daily actions. Block 3, I'm going to follow the program as written, but I can see already somebody's made 17 sales from the express method in less than a week. So that's encouraging. All right, let's complete the lesson, meet the coaches, amazing. Everyone looks like some friendly faces. Looking forward to meeting them all on the hot seats. And I'm also looking forward to seeing who I'm going to end up working with. All right, complete lesson. Next step is the essentials. Okay, so clearly I'm going to need a way for people to contact me. I don't have any profile or social media currently, so I'll need to set that up. A payment processor. All right, let's do that as well. And then someone to cover my insurance and tax. All right, so let's jump on with that. So insurance, policy B. Right, let's set up with policy B. I'm going to get a quote. Takes less than 2 minutes. All right, I'm a personal trainer. I want public liability insurance as it was recommended. Business annual income, 0 right now, but I'm aiming for £30,000 for the first year. So let's say next. What's your business called? Yusuf Smith Coaching. I don't know. So I filled that in. This took me a couple of minutes and I have my insurance quote now. So next, all the legal documents, T's and C's, GDPR, privacy policy, PAR-Q. That's a bit overwhelming for me. Okay. Oh, they've built out a template for me with all of the conditions, privacy policy and everything all in Pulse. Brilliant. And I'll receive the invite tomorrow. So I'll get on with that. And that's what it's going to look like. So that's all done for me. I just need to customize and tweak that. Alternatively, I can do some of these things too, but no, I'm happy using Pulse. I've done that in about 5 minutes. Complete that. Next section. Accounting. Okay, so there's some low-cost services available, such as Crunch. All right, let's open Crunch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to book in a call with them. And they've got a call available on Monday, 9 a.m. Brilliant. It's just before my hot seat. Okay, payment processor. So we need a way to collect payments. If someone wants to sign up with me, yeah, that's a good point. I've just messaged Lynette's friend and I don't know how to collect a payment from her. Stripe is the one that's recommended. So let's open stripe.com. Start now. Okay. So I'll put in my email address, my full name, my password, and then I'll create an account. Lovely. So that's done. Okay, so next I need a shop window. Yeah, that makes sense. Needs some way for someone to get in touch with me. Instagram, no, I'm not really an Instagram person. I'm not very good at taking ass selfies. Twitter, okay, yeah, I guess it's easy enough to make content on Twitter. I can just type out some thoughts. And profile picture, need a smiling photo, and I'm going to write a bio. And I help this person to achieve outcome without pain. All right, so I'm going to go to Twitter or X and just say, right, Yusuf Smith 99, whatever. Save that. And now I need to authenticate my account. So this is hilarious. I've actually spent the last 25 minutes trying to figure out how to solve the CAPTCHA that they've been trying to get me to authenticate. Maybe you're looking at this and screaming the answer at me, but I just, for the life of me, couldn't figure this out. And so I followed the advice in the program of searching on YouTube for an answer, and there's a whole bunch of videos of people in Hindi. But I've done multiple attempts, wasn't able to figure it out. I asked GPT, again, following the advice, so I've pasted it in there. It's given me another cryptic answer. I said, I don't understand, please explain more clearly. Still didn't figure it out. So I thought, okay, to keep things moving, I'll try it on my mobile. Used it on mobile. It gave me a different question. It said, just count the potatoes. I can count potatoes, so that's absolutely fine. So I've done that, and now we're in. So we've got an account. And at this point, it looks like I'm going to need to solve a particular problem. So let's say I'm not fully sure on my niche right now, but I'm just going to say I am a breath coach. Now, I'm not going to overthink this. Let's go into here, and I'm just going to say online breath coach. All right, so let's save that. Oh, we need to add a bio as well. So let's say, all right, I help, what was the format? Person to achieve outcome in time frame. All right, so I cannot believe this. Okay, let's see if we can authenticate on mobile. Great, I can count the potatoes on mobile. So that is done now. Now let's refresh. We are back in. Okay, excellent. Obviously Twitter's had a difficult time with the bot problem. So let's edit my profile again. I help stressed people to breathe deeply and engage fully with life in 6 weeks. It's not a great bio. I haven't done my niche research yet, but let's just leave that for now. And then we need a profile picture. So smiling face, how about this? Lovely. All right, so I'm going to crop that and upload it as my profile picture. So let's just upload that. Right, done. It's not perfect, but no messing around. Now let's get on to the niche. So what I'm going to do is a 25-minute video. I can listen to that as a podcast in my morning walk tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. So we are on to day 2. We've completed the Start Here section yesterday, took about 40 minutes. I've got my first client inquiry. I've referred a friend. I've made a couple of £100 in commission. And I'm clear on my goals. I'm waiting to speak to my one-to-one coach on Monday, and I've booked in a hot seat. So now I'm going to start working through the niche stuff as it was mentioned in my Notion dashboard. So I'm going to tick off Telegram access because I did that yesterday. And I'm going to go through the niching modules and niching exercise. I've done the goal setting as well. Brilliant, so that's up to date, and let's assume I've done my morning walk. I've been listening to this on double speed, so I got through this 25-minute video in about 12 minutes, and I understand the importance of a niche. I've got crystal clarity on it now, and I'm going to start working through the various exercises in here. So I'm going to say, right, I've got no idea where to start. So method 1 is that your YouTube history is your niche and the things that you are interested in. So I haven't fallen for the trap here of going for busy professionals. I'm looking for some reassurance on my niche because I'm not sure whether my niche of myself is going to be okay. Have I spoken to any leads about it? No, but there is a guy that I've got in mind called Aaron, who I used to work in the office with, that actually really fits this niche, and I think what I could offer him would be really valuable. I'm going to book in a chat with him and make sure that the person, problem, and outcome fits with what he's trying to do. I'm going to keep in mind the key principle that seems to be hammered home for me from these modules, which is to move fast and market validate, and then I can always redefine it later. So let's get on to the exercises. But this is the mind reader goggles. I'm going to assume that I've watched this 2-minute guide video on how to do it, and I can see that it's been very helpful for people to identify their client problems rather than trying to build something that isn't a good fit for a potential client. I'm going to just be led by the market. I'm going to have a chat with Aaron and make sure that this is exactly what he's looking for. And then Alec has some deeper examples if I'm getting stuck. So stage 1, what problems was I facing 5 years ago? We've got breath, and then across the other domains, we've got diet, training, recovery, stress, and mindset, for example. So with breath, I would say I was unaware of the processes involved. Shallow breathing, poor posture, hated cardio, dry mouth in the mornings, possible sleep apnea. Okay. Diet, I was tracking with my fitness pal, overeating calories because of Teen Nation forums, bulking cutting cycles. I was doing it for 50 macros, not eating enough fruit and veg. Training, so I was doing Boris Shaco. I thought yoga was for willies. Inconsistent with stretching, constantly injured with my spine from over-egging deadlifts. Recovery, so I had no dedicated recovery practice. Go hard or go home mentality, but I was denying the signals from my body, and I wasn't performing my best. So there's a few things about me from 5 years ago. What would past version of myself pay to learn from the current you? A stress management and recovery protocol that I could objectively measure without taking up hours in the day. I felt like I didn't have time. So starting point A, say I was a type A personality, doctor, working long shifts, time poor, stressed, no recovery protocol, trying to train like I'm 21. Point B, what have I achieved in this? An awareness of peripheral practices and built-in recovery protocol. So we've got dedicated recovery protocol, awareness, and inhabiting the body through breath, body, yoga practices, without being woo-woo. We've also got a outlet for stress management, dedicated on off time, away from emotion processing, and then on the training front, training in line with my goals, pain-free, diet, effortless flexibility, without taking the piss with if it's 50 macros type stuff. Better gut microbiome inputs. Okay, I've been very used to this, just quick and dirty. What vehicles did you try in the past? So I mentioned 50 macros. We've tried ignoring the problem. We've tried meditation. We've tried Wim Hof. Okay, 5 years ago, what did we listen to? So let's say the Teen Nation forums, Tim Ferriss podcast, Lane Norton, Derek Helms. What was it, flying aha moments? I think it was meeting Kate Lachlan, recognizing that neck up practices were not addressing my personal physical bottleneck. Taking lying relaxation exercises seriously, rather than dismissing them. What did you start doing? Stop doing. So that actually was this. So it was that stuff and a new approach to stretching. Really what that did was open up the world of breath, inhabiting the body, posture work, etc. And that's down the rabbit hole of Alexander technique, breath, yoga, HRV protocols, etc. Cool. Right, so now we're going to be interviewing Aaron, my avatar, and this is going to be a bit weird to watch because I'm just going to be sat here psychotically interviewing myself. But the point of this is that we're doing an offer that's outside of my area of expertise so that it's kind of blank slate and it's rough and ready. And obviously, if you are an expert in anything, this is going to be so much easier for you. So, hi Aaron. Hi Yusuf. How are you doing? Very good. So Aaron, tell me about yourself. Yeah, I'm 31 years old. I've just had a baby, 6 months old. Oh, congratulations Aaron, that's great. Yeah, thank you. And I've been working in the office. I'm in derivative operations. And basically, I've been there for the last 7 years and life's going pretty well. Cool. So Aaron, the reason that I'm having this chat with you is that I'm trying to launch a new offer. I'm thinking to help people with their breath because it's something that I've had a good transformation in myself, but I'm still trying to flesh it out, and I think you would be a great person to bounce some ideas off. Oh, and Aaron, just before we continue, I'm recording this call. Is that all right with you? Yeah, so the reason for that is I'm on this amazing program called Prep in Business, and I'm using the transcript as a way to summarize and generate some recurrent themes so that I can produce the best offer for people like you. Is that all right? Yeah, sure. So what do you want to know? Okay, so Aaron, I want to know where you're at with your current physical practices, your diet, your training, your recovery, your breath, all that stuff. Well, I should have given Aaron an accent. So I've been training for 3 years, relatively active. I walk the dog in the mornings with my partner, and now wheeling the baby around. I play five-a-side football on the weekends with the lads, and I'll probably get into the gym maybe once or twice a week. I'll pick up on that again in a second, Aaron. You mentioned a few more problems, so let's bring this back to where you're looking to get to in the future. Okay, so, sorry, I said I would look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I want to sleep better. I don't want to be out of breath when I'm walking the dogs and playing five-a-side. Okay, so you want better cardiovascular fitness. And I'm not really sure. All right, Aaron, let's just flesh out some of the stuff you mentioned already. So the Brad Pitt in Fight Club thing, how far away from that do you think you are? Realistically, so if I'm like 6 to 12 months away probably, like I need to get rid of this spare tyre first. Like, okay, so we've got spare tyre here. And you mentioned your training is 1 to 2 times a week. What does that look like for you? Well, machines in the gym, dumbbell stuff, basically, beach muscles. Okay. Do you train legs, abs? Do you do any multi-plane movements? No, what's that? Okay, fine, so we'll come back to that. What's your sleep hygiene like? Oh, I listened to an Andrew Huberman episode recently where he was talking about taping up my mouth. So I've been trying that. Okay, so you're doing some of that stuff. What about screens before bed? Before bed every night, pretty much. Okay, well, there's an easy win for you, Aaron, isn't it? You mentioned the night wakings. Presumably, good sleep in your mind is no night wakings, getting to sleep on time, waking up feeling refreshed, and recovering well from training. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary. Okay, so cool. I'm not going to write all this stuff down because I'm transcribing the recording. Okay, Aaron, that's a useful general picture of where you're at with your physique, your training, your body, and where you're going to. I'll ask you some questions about breath and that kind of stuff as well. Is that something you've given much thought to? No, I mean, I read the James Nestor breath book and I thought it was really interesting, but if I'm honest, I haven't really put anything into practice from it. Okay, cool. Is it something you want to explore a bit more? Yeah, I think so, but I'm not really sure it's something I need right now. Okay, Aaron, do you mind if I challenge you on that? You mentioned that you've got tense shoulders, you're waking up in the night, you've got a bit of a spare tyre, you don't feel as cardiovascularly fit as you'd like to be. Do you think maybe there's something to explore in that? That you're already doing some activity, you're already training, your diet's okay from what I've seen in the office, apart from the biscuits that I obviously have on Thursday. But would you be open to exploring something different with the breath? Yeah, okay. And actually, Aaron, as well, while I'm rinsing you here, I've seen that your posture at the desk, you look like an absolute prawn. All right, Yusuf, bloody hell, no need to roast me on this interview. Well, it's true, I'm here to help you, so I'm going to say it like it is, Aaron. Right, fine. So, have you ever explored breathwork or any of that stuff? No, I had a cold shower once, because I saw Wim Hof recommends that stuff, but I didn't like it. Okay, that's interesting. Anything else? No? My partner Trish wanted me to go with her, but it's not really my kind of thing. Why not? It seems a bit intimidating. I'm a guy, and I feel like a bit of a pervert if I'm in a class with loads of women, and it's just not my scene. I haven't got time to be adding in an extra class when I'm already not training as much as I'd like to be. Okay, interesting, Aaron. So let's get on to some of your hot buttons. What's a hot button? Don't worry, that's for my niche research in my Notion dashboard. Oh, what's Notion? Never mind, Aaron. Let's keep going. So what's frustrating you right now? Well, it's the fact that you just called me a shrimp, Yusuf. Okay, do you think there's any element of truth to that? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so actually feeling like a shrimp or a prawn, posture, is that something you want to improve? Well, yeah, but like, it's whenever I catch myself, I try and sit up, but I just end up going back to my old habits again. Cool. Aaron, what do you think that's doing to your breathing and your stress levels? It's probably bad, isn't it? But honestly, I've not given that much thought. That's fine. Something for us to discuss after this call. You mentioned stress was quite a big thing at work at the minute. Yeah, it is, but that's just because some projects and deadlines I'm struggling to hit home to work a little bit late means that I'm not having as much time with the new baby. Okay, so work stress. What's your aspiration? I think to be promoted to general manager and also to be in better shape and to have the time to be able to do that. Okay, so more time, promotion. Is there anything in the stuff that we've mentioned here that might help you to get to that aspiration? Yeah, I think if I'm feeling and performing better in my body, I'm going to show up better for work. Yeah, I agree, Aaron, that's very insightful. Cool, what's your fear? Spiders? Way. No, come on, Aaron, be sensible. What are your fears to do with your physique, your training, the stuff we're talking about here? Honestly, it's that things continue, and I know that since I was in my 20s, I've gone in worse shape, and that's because I've just not been as active, I've been focused on work, and I'm worried that things are going to continue at this trend, and it's going to be harder to turn things back around. Yeah, fair enough, Aaron, that's a very insightful thing to say. I think we all have that fear. Cool, so Aaron, if I was to say that I had a solution for you to help you get to your long-term aspirations of feeling like you've got more time in your week, lower stress, able to show up better in your body and show up at work, improve your sleep, reduce those night wakings, improve your posture, and to basically open up more time and space for you to be able to be your best self, what would that look like for you? Honestly, Yusuf, like, my concern is the additional time commitment of having to work with someone and add in extra online classes and things that I'll have to do, but it's definitely something I'm keen on. I just would need something that's time efficient and helps me to get to my goals. I can do with a bit of structure as well, because I think currently when I'm in the gym, because I'm only going once or twice a week, I'm kind of making stuff up, and I'm not really sticking to a plan, so I've been using the same weights for a long time. Okay, cool. So you want some structure, some accountability by the sound of it, and something that doesn't take up large amounts of extra time. What would you pay for that result? Oh, like 200 quid per month? Yeah, I mean, if it was getting me to that result. Competitor products. Aaron, have you ever bought a coaching program in the past? Not a coaching program, but Trish used to do Joe Wicks when we were in lockdown, and I bought the Jordan Peterson self-authoring suite, which was quite useful. It got me feeling in quite a reflective mood. Aside from that, I listen to Andrew Huberman on the walks in the morning, find him really interesting, and I use Athletic Greens because he's always plugging it. And I didn't realise that Athletic Greens is a 50% recurring affiliate revenue program, which is why the big podcasters are always plugging it. Oh, okay, cool. So what about forums? Do you hang out on any forums? Is there anything that you often scroll, have a look at? Yeah, so I like to say the Huberman podcast. I quite like the Huberman subreddit, the biohacking subreddit, but honestly, it's all stuff that I'm interested in reading, but I haven't been able to fully put it into practice. I've got a Whoop band as well, but I don't really know what to do with the data. Oh, that's interesting, Aaron. Aaron, can you do me a favour? Can you open up your YouTube and just show me the last 5 things that you searched for? A bit of a risky move. Oh yeah, okay, so I searched for left shoulder pain. Oh, you didn't mention that. Yeah, I sleep on my left side, and I'm finding that my left shoulder's been a bit tight, and it's affected the way that I'm doing chest press at the minute. Okay, cool. What else? I've got, are shiitake mushrooms good for gut health? And then I've got woman throws cat in bin. That's not hugely helpful, Aaron, but if you can send over any more searches that come up that are kind of related to what we've been talking about, that would be really helpful for me to refine my offer. Final questions for you. What gym do you go to? I go to Pure Gym just because it's around the corner. I used to be part of a CrossFit gym, but I was just doing my own thing, and I found the CrossFit characters a bit intimidating. Okay, end interview. So we know that Aaron is a 31-year-old office worker. He is in derivative operations. He's married. He's had a recent child. Level of education, he's got a bachelor's degree. His day looks relatively full because he's walking the dog in the morning and then he's going to work, sitting at the desk like a prawn. I'm going to use GPT, as it's recommended here, to take that transcript from the chat that we've just had psychotically with Aaron and turn it into a table with all of this stuff. So how long did that take? This video is 24 minutes. Okay, so we've had that chat with Aaron, and then I've just written out a couple of themes that have come to mind from speaking to him. So it sounds like, from what he said, he was majoring in the minors. So he's worrying about mouth taping, but he's still looking at screens before bed. He doesn't train legs. He's not doing any multi-plane movements. He was like, what's that? He hasn't got a consistent program. He believes that he's time poor, but he's scrolling a lot before bed. And I suspect that he's going to be spending more time on Instagram and things than he thinks. He said he's got tense shoulders and he's got a tense shoulder with pain when he sleeps on his left side. He's waking up in the night, but he's exhausted by the time he goes to sleep. So he's probably not sleeping well and he's under-recovered. He is reading things like the James Nestor book, so he's got actually some active interest in breathing and breath work, but he's not put it into practice. He is not convinced that breath is really the solution to his problems, so it'd be my job as his coach to try and connect those dots for him. And he's got some shame and fear around yoga classes. He said that he's struggling to make the posture habits stick, so he's being a bit of a prawn. And he is willing to reflect and journal based on the fact that some of the previous products he's bought are the Jordan Peterson self-authoring suite, and he listens to Andrew Huberman. So he has got some interest in this kind of stuff. This stuff is gold, really useful. So what I'm going to do is follow the instructions in here and synthesize it into a single sentence or series of sentences. So we want to put all this together. Now, this part is actually really hard and it'll take you multiple attempts. I help stressed individuals with, or stressed men with poor posture and shallow breathing to reclaim their energy, engage with life, and inhabit their body via breath coaching. Now, breaking the fourth wall here, I know this is not perfect because I haven't gone through the offer module yet, but let's just leave it at that for now. And the next step is taking some of that gold, those nuggets that Aaron has given us from the chat with him, into GPT and summarize it like this. So let's do that. So I upload the audio file in there and then I paste this prompt. Let's see what it comes up with. And here we go. It's summarizing all of this stuff for me. So there's my niche Bible. It's got Aaron's problems, pains, fears, goals, demographics, needs, aspirations, hangouts, and marketing angles. I mean, that's pretty good for 20 minutes work. So now we have another table with some even more in-depth stuff. There's our market research. So we've got the first one from the chat with Aaron, the second one from the information we've put into the mind reader goggles. And this forms the Bible now. And so now I've got a map of everything that my potential niche would struggle with, is looking to achieve, 2 comprehensive summary tables with all of the information about problems, fears, demographics, needs of my potential niche. Finally, if I want to be really lazy and really squeeze the lemon of that chat that I've had with Aaron, I can go to Alex's table here, the problem and solution table, and say, please also fill in this table using the transcript and information above. Now, I'm not asking GPT to create any new information here. I'm asking it to summarize the information that I've already given it. So I've still used my brain and Aaron's brain to come up with the content so that it's real, it's human, it's not artificial. So I'm going to copy that and then go back to the mind reader goggles and then paste that in the bottom. So now I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Right, so niching exercise done. Let's go to the next section. Niching AI Turbo cheat code. So this is what I've used here to enhance the stuff that we've done already. And then this no more excuses one. This is for people who literally don't know a single person to go for a coffee with or to ask. Luckily, I do know a single person who I could possibly help, so I can skip this module as well. So that's niching done. Next, let's go to offer. This is a 26-minute module. I can watch that on double speed in 13 minutes. And so I've got the main points of the module, which are that I have to help somebody using the niche information that I've just generated to go from current situation, point A, which Aaron has very clearly laid out, to desired situation, point B, and that they've tried past vehicles, which I've got, problems with them, and then my offer. Well, I want to start creating my offer so that I can then help him with that. So it looks like I need to create a unified big idea, a unique selling proposition, and a unique mechanism. Okay, fine. And then I can list out the mini mechanisms and focus on benefits and problems. Okay, cool. Well, I don't have any warm traffic, so I'm going to have to focus on problems as well. Let's add that to my notes. Okay, so completed that module. Seth Godin says that rather than making a key and then running around looking for a lock, it's better to find a lock and then go and make the key, which I've done with Aaron. I've identified the problem that he had and the problem that I used to have 5 years ago. So complete that module, sales cheat code. This is a 5-minute module, so I can rattle through this. So from this module, I've learned that I have to communicate who I am, why I can help, and why I understand their problem through my content. I then shine the spotlight on doing that with them, show them the cost of not signing up with me, and give them the information and realizing that I can't force a sale. Okay, this is a skill set that I think is going to take a bit of practice for me to get good at, but that's fine. Complete lesson. Now I've got to craft my A to B via C, and this is going to take around 15 minutes apparently, so I need to be able to condense that into I help A to achieve B via C. Now, I had a go at that here, didn't I? But it wasn't very complete and it wasn't very good, which was I help stressed men with poor posture and shallow breathing to reclaim their energy. So let's have a play around with this. I also haven't got a unique mechanism yet, which was those 3 U's. So I'm going to start creating that now. Why don't I just try that in here? I want to create an A to B via C statement for my offer, given the information above. Here's some more context. Okay, so here's what it's come up with. Looking at this, busy professionals and new parents looks very generic, and I've been warned against using the term busy professionals, so I'm going to go a bit deeper with this, bearing in mind that GPT is a bit vanilla and a bit generic at times. Okay, so it's given me 10 variations of the statement, so I can start playing with some of these and get one that works best. So let's open that in here and explore this. To be honest, I don't like these. They're all empowering overwhelmed individuals with, I think it's the wellness program and holistic wellness that doesn't, it seems quite vague to me, and I don't want to put my name to that, so I'm going to use bits of them that I like the most. So luckily I've got 10 to play with. That's good. I also like the blueprint idea. Away from marathon gym sessions. I like the idea that it's personalized. So what I can then do is take some of the bits that I like the most and then build them into my original thing. So I have personalized, I like the word blueprint, I like that it's people juggling life's demands and avoiding quick fix stuff as well. So, and then I want to get specific about that as well. Great. So we've got the A to B via C statement. I just need to refine that a bit. Then we need to do the 50 solutions exercise, which would take 1 hour. And I can see that Paul has had some great success with that. A few other people have found it very helpful. So let's dive in to the 50 solutions exercise. Welcome back, it's day 3. So I have done the offer principles video. I understand the principles of sales and recognize that it's going to be a skill that will develop over time. I've got a basis for my A to B via C statement. And now I'm on to the 50 solutions. So assuming I've watched this 14-minute video, I then understand what I need to do. So I'm going to go back to my Notion dashboard and I see that we need a list of 5 most common problems. Well, I've already got those from my chats with Aaron and myself. So here we are. Just remembered the references that Aaron made to Fight Club, and maybe you're witnessing me becoming Tyler Durden and you're seeing the unfolding of this psychotic break, but here we go. So we have some problems here. So unaware of breathwork benefits, fine. No dedicated recovery practices, I guess that comes hand in hand. Go hard or go home mindset, ignoring body signals. We've got lack of time. Now we want to write down 10 solutions for each problem. Okay, so solution problem 1, educate on the benefits. And we have some simple 5-minute practices that they can do. And what are some in-action breath protocols? Are there any training before work? Planning out holidays, mini walks. I always feel like smokers are somehow allowed to just have like a random 5-minute break every half an hour or so. So I think it's perfectly acceptable for non-smokers to do the same. Okay, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Not all of these are super appropriate, but let's just freeball it. So shallow breathing, poor posture, poor diet. So this could be a habit trigger for posture, habit trigger for breath, meal prep at work for the poor diet, using meal prep company, breath drills, HRV, or breath tracker, identifying other recovery practices, which could be sleep hygiene, lying relaxation, walks, audiobooks, games with family. We've got the recognizing body signals, we've got developing interoception from meditation practice. Now I am scraping barrel here because this isn't my area of expertise, I've come up with a breath offer, but you can see that even then there's still stuff that is very kind of simple and applies to everybody. Lack of time for more training. Yeah, so we've got shorter sessions. We can do periodized programming to make sure to account for busy periods at work. Cool. And then with this stuff, having difficult conversations, maybe the solution here is seeing a therapist or reflection or journaling. Cool. So we've got maybe not 50, but we've got a decent chunk of potential solutions here. Let's just go to the next step. Okay, so take the 5 most practical solutions for each problem. Right, so I'm just going to bold them. So we've got that walks, we've got some sleep hygiene stuff, 5-minute practices, and an intensive workshop to feel the benefits. Is that 5? No, that's... Great, so now we've done the 50 solutions exercise. That took much less than 1 hour for a new offer as well. Now, next step, complete the lesson. This isn't appropriate to me just yet because I don't have a Facebook group. I don't have any online presence right now apart from the Twitter profile that we set up the other day. And then this is a reminder that my offer needs to solve a specific problem. Now, this is interesting because so far my offer is a little bit generic. There's a lot of solutions for relatively vague problems. So I think I might need to start narrowing it down and making it more and more specific. So how am I going to do that? Well, it looks like the guidance is to find the single most urgent problem and aim to solve that first. So out of the problems that Aaron has mentioned here, it seems like the thing that's most urgent to him, based on the chat that we had with him, was this, that he feels like he is stressed and constrained and trapped, and he doesn't have the time to be able to reclaim that energy and that space. And so he's then, as a consequence, not hitting his physique goals. So where's the stuff that I write down here? Yeah, the main themes. That like he's trying to do something, but he's basically majoring in the minors. He kind of is aware of what he needs to be doing, but he's time poor, he's coping by looking for the easy ways out, he's put off by some of the standard kind of off-the-shelf solutions with this, and he's tense. And that, at the core of it, is affecting all the rest of his life. And as a new breath coach, I now see that that is the real keystone that'll improve the rest of his life. So it seems like, to me, we're getting some clarity on this A to B via C statement, because we have A, he's stressed, feels trapped, time poor, bad posture, shallow breath, all that stuff. Some of those things he's maybe not aware of. Point B is the end point, the reverse of those things. And C, the mechanism or the vehicle, is now my coaching offer to help him improve his breath and reclaim the space and inhabit his body. So hopefully that makes sense. What I might need to do is get back in touch with Aaron and anybody else who I'm speaking to and figure out what's the most urgent thing for them right now. And then direct most of my content and offer and solutions to that. Okay, fine. Now, I'm having a wobble now because I'm like, is this going to work? How do I know it's going to work? Well, it looks like the message that keeps getting repeated in the program is that the solution is to market validate and to test it against people in the market. And that rather than asking them or asking my coach for reassurance about whether my niche is going to work, is to actually speak to the people in that niche. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to do was to take the stuff from the 3 U's in the offer module, which is this stuff. So unified big idea, unique selling proposition, and unique mechanism, and just take what I've got above and turn that into that. So let's say that the unified big idea is that breath connects all aspects of mind, body, and eliminates stress, improves performance, improves recovery. The unique selling proposition is that you can do short practices built into your day to improve these things. And the unique mechanism, let's call it breath pills. So we've now got a unique mechanism that relates to the unified big idea. And the breath pills, I guess, are short, actionable, low time commitment, free kind of breath top-ups that people can access at any time to achieve this result. Fine. This is good enough. We can always refine it as we go along. So next we are on to the compass section. So this is a short video about what traffic method we should choose in the beginning. Now I'm assuming that I have no traffic and no following or anything at this stage. So I'm gonna, between choosing time and money, I'm also gonna select to pay with time rather than with money in the beginning, because I don't feel like I'm ready to outsource or automate anything just yet, because I haven't got a converting offer. So as the guys are saying in this module, that would be a silly thing to do. So let's complete that lesson as well, assuming I'm still watching these on my morning walks. Now, picking my route. So this 6-minute video goes through the different options for picking the route. So following this diagram, the organic skim is the method that I need to do. So let's go to getting one-to-one clients. We understand the goal of this section is to have the tools to be able to get there, and focusing on the 5x5 barbell progression of this. Okay, so it's like the key boring inputs to start getting my clients. And I can see that from many people who've done this already, they've started to collect large amounts of cash. They are doing pretty well from this. So how do we do this? Okay, so we're watching these modules on the background and what the waters are like, and recognizing that big picture, this is my current bottleneck. I don't have any leads right now. By this point, I would have spoken to my coach. I would have run through, I'm being a star student and I'm keeping things moving, and I've done the niching exercise and the 50 solutions and so on. And I haven't been distracted by trying to spend hours setting up Pulse or any of that stuff at this point. So now I'm going to start working through the bait builder. And I'm going to use the information that I've got from the 50 solutions to be able to do that. And then I'll be ready to start doing the organic sweep by the looks of it. Okay, cool. So let's jump over to the bait builder and start doing this. So I'm back in my dashboard again, and I understand now that the post structure is this. Okay, well, how do I put that together? Oh, cool, there's a worked example that I can look at if I'm not sure, and I can play around with the different formats. I can start creating some variations as well that are all fed from the A to B via C statement. Okay, cool. So let's have a read through this. So some examples of hooks. Got it, so I kind of understand that now. And then talking about the problem, the stuff that Aaron was telling me. Agitate, so what is the consequence of not addressing that problem? Okay. The desired result. And specifying the obstacle and how to remove it. Well, I've got the exercise pills now from my 3 U's. Is this you? And then we have the call to action. So let's start building some promo posts. Okay, so I want to go back and open the 50 solutions on one side of the screen here and identify the stress at work and the shallow breathing. So how about, hey, I see you slouching at your desk. That's a stop scrolling hook from that example. Problem: when you're feeling stressed at work, you create a cycle of shallow breathing. Agitate. So what's the consequence of shallow breathing? When you do this for long enough, you train your brain to be stressed at the slightest thing. And I've actually got an idea there of one of these videos where people jump out at somebody in the office and they get really scared. And it's because we can say that they're breathing shallowly, their posture is hunched over, and so their threshold for fear or anxiety or jumping out their skin is much lower. Solution: an exercise pill. Imagine you're being pulled up from your head. Breathe into your belly. 3 breaths. Back to work. Call to action. Okay, so I'm not running a free workshop just yet, but you can say, if you want to see how the power of breath can transform your stress, sleep, training, and mood, like this post and get in touch. Great. So I think that works for a video or for a Twitter thread, a Twitter post, so I can try that. So why don't I do that right now? I can see that this promo post builder has made the whole thing for me. If I scroll back up, it's just pinged it all together. Great, so I can use that as a tweet or as a video script. So let's open the new Twitter account that I've got, and I can just paste this. Hey, I see you slouching at your desk. When you feel stressed at work, you create a cycle of shallow breathing. 3 breaths. Get back to work. See the power of that. Okay, so I can then create that as a Twitter thread. And then let's also find a video of someone being scared at work. Okay, something like that. I like that. So let's download that video. Let's search YouTube downloader. There we go. Let's convert that and download it. Lovely. So that works perfectly, and we've got this. So let's just add another item to the thread and paste the remainder of that. Here's what to do. Pull it up from your head. Nice and tall. Enjoy the rest of your day. There we go. If you want to see how power of breath can transform, so let's add that as the third post. There we go. So I've done my first bait builder. Let's also do that as a video. So I'm just going to learn that script. So we have, hey, I see you slouching at your desk. When you're feeling stressed at work, you create a cycle of shallow breathing. When you do this for long enough, you train your brain to be stressed at the slightest thing. Here's what to do. Imagine you pull it from your head. Okay, cool. So I've got my phone here. Stop. I see you sitting there like a little prawn at your desk. You know that when you're slouched over, you breathe shallow and you create a cycle of stress that's really hard to escape. So try this with me. Imagine somebody's picking you up by the back of your head, nice and tall. Follow me for 3 deep breaths. Doesn't that feel better already? And that was only a couple of seconds. So if you want to find out more about how the power of breath can transform your sleep, your stress, your training, and your mood, then like this post and get in touch. We can have a chat. There we go. So that took me 30 seconds to do. I've now got a Twitter thread and a bait builder video that I can use with a direct call to action. Great. So I can do several more of those just with some hooks following this example and the stuff that we've got from the niching exercise. So I'm not going to bore you with more of those, but as you can see, super quick, super easy to make. Now let's go on to pricing one-to-one coaching. Yeah, so this is something I was wondering. I'm starting a new offer and I haven't got any clients yet. So what can I do? Well, I mentioned before that I'm struggling with some imposter syndrome. So I'm wondering if maybe I could just start working with somebody at a very low price or for free. Well, the guidance in this module is to work with the first person for free, or if you want to charge them but you don't feel comfortable charging friends or family, to ask them to donate the same amount to charity. So that's fine, I can do that, and I can start with this pricing protocol, for example, so £59 a month for the first 3 people and then gradually increase it. Cool, that makes sense, and I understand here that the more I do for them, the more I can charge, although I haven't got a program or anything set out just yet. That's fine. We'll have to make it up as we go along and use the market as the way to feedback. So that makes sense. Right, so far I've got the initial price for my offer then. I've got some bait builder stuff. I've got my first inquiry from the referral thread. I'm also going to take that video that I've just recorded on my phone. I'm going to airdrop it to my Mac because I'm useless with using my phone. My fat thumbs don't allow me to edit videos on there, so I'm going to try them here. Here we go. And I am going to take that YouTube video that we just downloaded as the hook for that video. So we can crop the start of it to just there. Fine. And then let's add my video to the end. I'm not going to add any other edits, so this is all I need. I just need to crop to export it as mobile version. So actually I only want one scare in there, so that's there. Stop. I see you sitting there like a little prawn at your desk. You know that when you're slouched over, you breathe shallow and you create a cycle of stress that's really hard to escape. So try this with me. Imagine somebody's picking you up by the back of your head, nice and tall. And follow me for 3 deep breaths. So I can export that. There we go. There's the bait builder, and I've got the equivalent format in Twitter as well. So we mentioned the organic sweep and the spear gun sniper method. So let's find my potential leads that I can either ask for a referral or a chat about working together. So first of all, my phone contacts. I have got on here 631 people on my phone contacts. Not all of them will be potential clients, a lot of them will be companies and things too, but there's a lot of people in there. Instagram followers, so on my personal Instagram, so I know that for the sake of me playing the character of the breath coach, I don't have any followers, so I can say 0. But on my actual personal one, I've got about 1,200 people that are completely non-business related, people that I could potentially get in touch with if I was launching a breathing offer. Facebook friends, let's have a look. I have got 970 people on Facebook, and email list, I haven't got one. So there's already a lot of people. If I can just get 2 or 3 of those people to sign up with me, great. And if I can get 10 or 20 of those people to refer one person to me, we're already flying, and we haven't run any ads yet. We haven't grown on social media yet. And we've got 0 Twitter followers so far. Right, and then I understand that I need to ask a friend for 3 or 4 referrals, ideally, and then things very quickly snowball. Right, we're on day 4. We have a niche, we have an avatar that we've spoken to, we've already spoken to 1 inquiry, we've got an offer, we haven't validated that offer just yet, but I'm not going to overthink things. I've been through the compass, I understand what traffic method I need to use, and now I'm halfway through the getting one-to-one clients section. So I've been through the spear gun sniper method. I understand that I need to ask some friends for referrals, and I've written down all of the potential leads that I have, which is, as a person with 0 following, is still like 1,000 people. So I've got a lot to be getting on with. What I'm worried about though is all this cold DMing that all the gurus tell me about, and I don't want to do cold DMs. So let's just have a look at this. Oh, I see. Okay, so the difference between cold DMs is that sending it to strangers is very low conversion, annoys people, they don't know who I am. Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't want to be using a VA at this point. I'm still just starting. Okay, so instead, how do I get around this? I can use a targeted audience with a non-salesy script and keep it to 20 to 30 minutes a day. And it's free. Well, yeah, that's definitely worth it to me to get some initial clients. And I see that this isn't the long-term program. This is just to validate the offer so that I'm not wasting money on ads. And I would rather not waste my money on ads. So that makes sense to me. Fine. So I'm on board with that. Now, I don't have time to do social media. I mean, I've not got loads of time to do social media, but to be honest, I spend a bit of time scrolling Instagram, and that's time that I could be creating rather than consuming. So I think it's maybe, based on the mindset stuff that I read before, that it's maybe a bit of a story I'm telling myself that I don't have time. But let's see what this guy has to say. Okay, so you need a bare minimum of 9 posts on your profile so that at least when someone lands on your profile, they know what I do. Well, that makes sense because right now I've got an empty profile, or I've got one piece of content, which is this bait builder that I did the other day. So what I can do is make some of these. Well, I can make a tour of the program. I haven't actually built my program yet, so I'm not sure what I should be doing there. Maybe I should ask my coach. About me, I can definitely do that. How to get in touch, I can certainly do that as well. Testimonials, I haven't got any just yet, so I might have to skip that section. And FAQs, I can make up some FAQs, I guess. So, all right, let's go to create Canva account. Now I want to create a Twitter header. So for how to get in touch, I'll pick this template. That looks nice. I've got on a breath coach, so I want to swap that for lungs, let's say. There we go, that looks good. And then maybe learn how to use these to become happier and healthier. Shoot me a DM. Okay, and then make that black. And then let's flip that. Oops, that way. Okay, how's that? I'm no graphic designer, but that'll do for now. Just want to keep things moving. So if I edit my profile, there we are. So I've got that now. How to get in touch. What else do I need to do? About me. Okay, well, let's do that. So, hey, if you're new, my name is Yusuf. I'm going to share how the power of proper breathing solved my chronic stress, back pain, bad sleep, and improved my relationships, physique, cravings. If you struggle with any of this, send me a DM. We can chat. Great. So there's my About Me post. How to get in touch. So we've got those two. Tour of the program. Maybe I'm working with a select small group of people, one-to-one, to transform their relationship with their breath, body, and mind. Through, I look back at my stuff that I wrote in 50 Solutions, which was breath pills, short, actionable, low time commitment free breath top-ups. And then the tour, what would it look like? So I don't know what's included in my program yet, but I haven't got anything built or automated, so I can start, as I've been advised in the program, to start manual and then automate that later. So I'm going to be working closely with you via calls and WhatsApp to help you to level up. DM me for more. And a character limit, and also I said it in future tense, I should say I work closely with you. And then remove some of these extra words. There we go. What's next? Testimonials, can't do FAQs. How is breathing related to my physique? We all know that chronic stress equals reduced muscle, worsened recovery, and cravings. Giving your lungs an engine tune-up unlocks better gains, lower stress, better sleep, better sex. That was something I didn't ask Aaron about, but it might be worth me exploring with other leads I'm speaking to and see if it becomes a recurring theme. Okay, another FAQ. How do I re-establish a lifelong bad habit of shallow breathing via, I can say, breath pills? DM me to find out how to build these into your life. These will reset the control center and become automatic. Great, one final FAQ. Why would I need to hire somebody to learn to do something I've done all my life? I guarantee right now you're using less than 35% of your total breathing, total lung capacity. Modern life has us slouched over desks, breathing shallow, then stressed, and then let's add GIF, desk. There we go. Cool, so I'll add some testimonials once I can start working with some people, but right now at least I've got these on my profile. What I'm going to do is pin this one to my profile, and then I'll add the rest as highlights. Okay, so we've got that, and 3 FAQs. I can see people are getting some good success with that as well. All right, so let's continue. And I haven't built anything yet. How can I sell coaching? Well, this was one of my worries because I'm now being asked to put up testimonials and that kind of thing, and I haven't worked with anyone. So what do? Well, I get this concept that I am nothing more than a set of unproven ideas until somebody is actually working with me. So this is the reason that I'm not being too precious about the stuff that I'm posting on the account or the niche or the offer or trying to get it right, because I don't know. I don't have any data to say that this is something that somebody wants or not. So I'm just going to throw something out there knowing that it's going to improve over time. And that's why my focus is to focus on getting some clients first, and then they help me refine the product. Looks like the guy from Ready Fire Aim has said exactly the same thing as well. Cool. Well, I know that this is a big source of wobbles, so I'm going to bring this up with my coach as well, because I've started doing the stuff, but I'm worried about selling something that doesn't exist, and how can I go about that? Right, next we have getting some clients. This is the most important task of the entire program. We've built this into Pulse. This is the time to set up your Pulse opportunity pipeline. Right, okay, well, although there's a free option that's covered here, I want to use Pulse for this. Here we are. So I have a dashboard. I've got no leads and clients currently in there. Now, the first thing that I need to do based on the setup guide is connect my Facebook account. Okay, so I've done that according to the setup guide there. And it's walked me through the inbox, the calendars, and the contacts, and the CRM pipeline, the opportunities. Fine. And then in that guide, it says, ignore the stuff below this line until you're ready to use it later. So I'm not going to procrastinate and get all caught up with landing pages and things just yet, because I haven't got any clients. But what I am going to do is I have 2 contacts already. So I'm going to create Lynette's hairdresser, who I don't have any contact details for just yet. She is a lead. And then I also have Aaron from the office. Aaron Rumpelstiltskin. So I'm going to save them. Let's add them as potential one-to-one coaching leads. And I've contacted them, but I'm waiting for follow-up. So that was pretty quick and painless to get that bit set up, the essentials. And then I need to also be able to collect a payment. So if I go into payments and I go to, I assume, integrations based on what was being recommended in here, is to connect with Stripe. So I'll just do that now. So that was just one click. I've got my Stripe connected. I've connected my Facebook profile correctly. Those messages will come in through here, and then I can modify these different opportunities. So it seems like what I need to do now at this point, based on this, is I just need to get to work. I have a specific target of 50 DMs per week, which is 7 voice notes per day that should take 30 seconds to record and then track. And they will come back in through Pulse, so I have everybody managed in one place. This is pretty cool. So it looks like everything is all coming together with my new breath coaching program. Great, it's going to save me a whole bunch of time. Right, so what do I do now? Reeling them in. So this is a 23-minute module. Again, I'm going to watch this on double speed during my morning walk, so it takes 12 minutes to go through. And this gives me a full framework for understanding how to put sales into practice through DMs. And this is perfect for where I'm at right now with the spear gun method. And it looks like all of the templates are actually built into Pulse for me. And so I can then, and it's got some good track record here of it being Adam converting a sale of £300 within 30 minutes using the method. So based on this, I'm going to send Aaron a message. So opening WhatsApp. Hey Aaron, it's Yusuf. Thanks so much for the chat the other day. It was really helpful to help me kind of refine some of the offer and get things in place. I'd love to show you the summary and the grid of what we've worked on so far. And actually, based on what we chatted about, is this something that you would be interested in trialing with me? And if not, is there anybody you know that you think would benefit from my current process of basically helping people to improve their stress, their performance, their recovery through breath pills, which are short, actionable, low time commitment, free breath top-ups. I'd love if you could get back in touch, let me know anyone who you think would be a good fit, and I will speak to you soon. Send. So that took me 20 seconds to send. So I've asked him for a referral and for a potential sign up because he was the hottest lead that I've got. I'm also going to follow up with Lynette, who is the person who has messaged in the client referral thread to see if I can start coaching her hairdresser as well. We can see that basically this is about turning up, doing the volume, tracking the data, and sending it to my coach every week. Great, well, I can do that. I'm on board with that. Let's go. Finally, we have Alex's outreach training. So these are multiple 10-minute modules. So I'm going to watch these on my morning walk tomorrow. And I'm hoping this will supercharge my ability to turn those leads into new clients, and we'll get things set up. So as a recap, we've got niche, avatar, offer, compass, traffic method, getting one-to-one clients. We've got the process clear. I know exactly what I'm doing now. I know that I need to start turning up and doing the volume. I know that my roadmap is to get from 0 to my first 10 one-to-one clients. And I've already got 2 or 3 people in the pipeline now that are getting started. And I'm going to go through the rest of this to sharpen my skill set and build up my one-to-one client load. Okay, update. Lynette's hairdresser has just got back in touch with me. So that's potentially my first inquiry. Although now I'm having a bit of a wobble because she's not really in my niche and she wants to speak to me on the phone first because we don't really know each other. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. So I'll send my coach a message. So I'm going to open up Telegram. Hey coach, it's Yusuf. So Lynette's hairdresser has got back in touch with me, from the client referrals thread. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting that she would, but I kind of took a long shot and she's keen. But the main thing she wants to work on is fat loss. And obviously with my offer as a kind of breath coaching thing, I don't know whether it's worth me taking her on. I would like to for the experience and for the money, but yeah, I'd love to know your advice on this. I was thinking of sending her a calendar link because she doesn't know me. What do you reckon on that? And then is there anything else that I would need to have in place before I can get her on board? I've connected my Stripe with Pulse, but I'm not sure what I would do from this point. I'd love any advice that you have. Thank you. So while we're doing that, I finished the getting one-to-one section. I'm pretty clear on what I need to do now. I've got one goal. I know exactly what I need to be doing, which is to get 10 one-to-one clients, and I just need to get to work. So every day I'm going to be spending 30 minutes using the spear gun or sniper method and 30 minutes creating some bait builder material to drum up interest. So as per the modules, I've been advised to drum up interest and then convert that interest. And I'm just doing the reps at this stage. So this is going to be a bit of a boring phase where I take up those potentially 1,000+ leads that I wrote down in the lead dump. And I'm just going to work through them from warmest to coldest, asking for either referrals or direct pitching using the reeling them in framework that I've just learned. And we'll take things from there. Today I'm going to start with the bait builder. I saw this post on Instagram recently and it really caught my attention. It looks like it's from a guy who does sciatica and back pain stuff, and it's a short loop of him demonstrating something with a cool hook of you just learned how to do this and you're in a much better mood. So I'm going to try and copy that for my breath offer. So what I'm going to do is set up my phone here. I don't have a tripod or anything, so I'm just going to rest it against my laptop like that. And I'll do something similar. So I need to record like a 2-second video of a quick breath technique. So why don't we do a diaphragm release? And I'll do it like this. So record. Okay, that'll do as the footage. And then what's the audio that he's using? Okay, some kind of smooth jazz. So I can recreate that, I'm sure, if I then airdrop that to my computer. Okay, so I've airdropped this to my computer, dragged it into here in Descript, and then what I need to do is watch through that video. So I'm going to crop out that bit, and then what I'm doing is a diaphragm release, which again looks a bit weird, so hopefully that gets some curiosity from people. And then I just need to crop out the remainder of that as well, which is this bit. And as I've seen from the Descript tutorial, that it's very intuitive and I can edit the text or the timeline from here to crop the video down. Next thing is I want to mute this and add on some kind of smooth jazz music like in the other video that I saw by dragging that onto there. And then let's see how that looks. There we go. And I just need to add the text which I saw before, which was this. It's not very readable, so let's add a shadow. And then let's make that a bit bigger. And also I want to replicate the font that it was in. There. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is I want to copy the kind of format, but not the stuff about the broom and sciatica, obviously. So you just learned how to do a diaphragm release. And now your stress is gone and you're in a much better mood. Okay, so how does the final product look? Fine. That will do. So how long did that take me? 3 minutes. I've pasted it into here and I'm going to say DM me to find out more about how breath can transform your stress, your physique, and your performance. So there we go. It's not really a hook problem agitate solution, but it's copied something which is clearly working well. This one got 400,000 likes, and I've applied it to my offer with a call to action at the end. So I think that's pretty good for a couple of minutes. So let's post that. And there we go. I've got an 11-second video that hopefully gets some intrigue going. Well, what's next? I've posted this, and anyone who engages with this, I'll obviously get in touch with. And then I want to get back to keeping the main thing, and doing the target volume. So that is going back to my opportunities pipeline, the bread and butter of the program in the beginning. And I've got a list of names of people from my lead dump that I'm going to start getting in touch with and using the pipeline for that. So let's begin with my brother. Number one, my warmest potential lead or referrer. So, hey bro, it's Yusuf. I'm finally launching that online coaching business that I've been talking about, particularly helping people with the power of breath work and breath practices to improve their stress and their performance, their recovery and their sleep and so on. And I really think it's the lead domino to improve that. And I know that I can get good results for somebody over a 6-week period of working together. So I don't know if it's something that either of you would be interested in, great, or if you have any friends that you could pass on to me that are worth a chat with, there's no obligation obviously, but if you could introduce me in a group thread, that would be amazing. Right, send. Next one, Adam. Hey Adam, how's it going? I want to get in touch because I've started launching my online breathwork program, and I want to know if any of your strength clients are struggling with the recovery side of things. I'm taking on 5 one-to-one clients at the moment, and I would love to work with any of your clients, obviously, at a discounted rate. So if it's something that you think you want to benefit from, let me know. I'd love to get an intro and we can pick things up from there. Send. Next, we have Aaron, who we spoke to the other day, the niche avatar person. Hey Aaron, it's Yusuf, just following up on the chat we had the other day. Let me know if you have any thoughts and if you have any other questions. Next is Louise. Hey Louise, it's Yusuf, long time no see. It was really good to catch up at the wedding in January, and I wanted to continue the conversation that we had about breathing. Basically, I'm taking on a few clients to work in depth with for a breathing program. It's going to run over the next 1 or 2 months. We can work together for longer if you want to, but just initially to help you to improve your sleep, your recovery, your performance, and your physique. So if it's something you're keen on, we'd love to have a chat about it, see whether it's a good fit for you, and we'll catch up soon. Right, that's Louise. I've got Harry next. So, hey Harry, it's Yusuf. How are you doing? Hope you recovered from the Portugal holiday. That was absolutely rough. So anyway, I'm messaging you because I am launching a breathwork program that I think would be really valuable for you, just based on some of the stuff we were talking about in terms of posture and sleep. And I would love if you would be keen on being a guinea pig for the first iteration of it. So if you're keen, let me know, have a chat about your goals and see whether it's a good fit for you, and I can give some more details on it. All right, see you soon. Next we have Steph. Hey Steph, it's Yusuf. I haven't seen you in a few months now. Hope you and Josh are doing okay. Anyway, we were talking about breathing last time, and I know that you've done a lot of yoga and you were kind of approaching it from a pranayama perspective. I wondered if you want to explore something different, and I think it will really complement your yoga practice. But it'd be good to hear a bit more about where you're at right now and if it's something that you'd be keen on joining. There's no obligation with this, but it's something that I'm starting and I want to take on a few initial people to help test the program. So let me know your thoughts. If it's something you're keen on, you want to explore further, let me know and we can have a chat. All right, next is Lewis. Hey Lewis, congratulations on the book launch the other day. I realised that you'll have been spending so much time editing, and when I'm doing that, I end up looking like an absolute prawn when I'm kind of hunched over my desk. And so, no offence, but I thought this might be something that I could help with. Basically, I have been setting up and launching a breathwork program that's really designed to help integrate breath and posture and improve your recovery, and hopefully allow you to bounce back from long stints of editing. So if that's something of interest to you, do let me know. We'd love to have a chat about it. I can send you my calendar link. And if not, do you know anybody who would be interested? We can work on a discounted rate for the first month and see if it's something that's a good fit for you. I know that I can get some good value for you out of it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'll speak to you soon. Great, so that was 7 messages. So I've done my target volume for the day, and that's taken less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to add these guys to my pipeline. I'm going to start charging at £59 a month for the first 3 people because I'm struggling with some imposter syndrome and it's a new offer. So let's do that, and then let's start adding the remainder. Who else did we speak to? Adam. Okay, spoke to Aaron, who's in there. I'm going to update the opportunity value for him. We spoke to Louise. Hey. Louise, hey. We spoke to Harry Ramsden and Lewis Grobley. If I use the WhatsApp integration, these would show up automatically, but for now, I'm adding them manually. It doesn't take too much extra time, and I'm going to move them to contacted to follow up. So all these people I've sent a voice note to. And then Lynette's hairdresser is somebody who is potentially a hot lead, and we just want to make sure that we know what to do. But there we go. I've done my daily volume of marketing and lead generation, and I'm waiting for my coach to get back to me about what I could do for the next steps with Lynette's hairdresser. So if I can just turn up each day and do the target volume and then troubleshoot and course correct as I go, then very quickly I'm going to build up a decent lead pipeline. So let's have a look at my dashboard. And I can see already I've got 8 open opportunities. I don't have a conversion rate, but I've got potentially £593 worth of revenue of people to follow up with. Welcome back. My coach Clarissa has just got back to me about what I should do about the call with Ella.
Okay, yeah, so even if they're not in your niche, it's completely fine. So you are going to want to send them a cow link and basically get a call booked in with them. And then when you're on that call, you're going to want to make sure that you are ready with a payment link. This can all be done through Pulse. So if you send them the payment link and your terms and conditions and your PAR-Q, and then that will all be sorted.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if she's not directly in my niche. I need to send her a calendar link and get my PAR-Q and a payment link in place as well, and that can all be done through Pulse apparently. So we've got Lynette's hairdresser in here, and I want to go to calendars then, and then send her a calendar link. How would I do that? Okay, no, I'm not available during all these times, so I'm going to disable Monday and Tuesday. I can do Wednesday 10 till 3, but I can't do Thursday. Now I want to send that to Lynette's hairdresser. So if I copy this scheduling link and then send her an email. So she said, "Hi, it's Ella. Lynette mentioned you would be able to help with my training goals. What's the best way to find out a bit more?" So let me reply. "Hi, Ella. Great to hear from you. Why don't we have a quick chat to see if it's a good fit for you? Here's my calendar link." Okay, and I'm just going to test that calendar link as well to make sure that it's all working properly. Okay, cool. So I've got Wednesday and Saturday, and they can pick a time to book in a call with me. Brilliant. So let's send that. Next, what I need to do is create a payment link so that she can pay me. So how do we do that? We've gone to payments, one-to-one, breath coaching, monthly rate, no minimum period, if I can spell that right. There we go. And that is a recurring payment of £59 a month to start with. Monthly. Do I want to offer a trial period? No. Save. Done. So it would look like this. Cool. So then, the final thing that my coach has recommended is the PAR-Q. So if I go to the community and I search PAR-Q in lessons, then we've got Pulse Setup Guide, building your website, PAR-Q, and so on. So it is in websites, edit, T's and C's, PAR-Q. So let's go sites, websites, T's and C's, privacy policy. Fine, and then I'm going to go through and insert Yusuf Smith coaching, my contact details, user Smith, address, phone number, email. So I've got my T's and C's, my privacy policy, my payment link, and my PAR-Q. Okay, it's time for Ella's call. So I'm going to refresh myself on the reeling them in script. And actually, I just want to have it in front of me. So I'm going to open my dashboard. I realize this is a script for DMs, but because I don't know this person and it makes more sense to have a bit of an intro chat with her, I can repurpose this for the call itself. So let's open this up and I'll use this as a guide while I'm chatting to her. Let's give Ella a call.
Hello?
Hi, is that Ella?
Yeah, speaking. Hello.
Hi Ella, how's it going? It's Yusuf here.
Hi, Yusuf. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for booking the chat. How do you know Lynette?
Oh, I love Lynette. I've done her hair for years.
Ah, cool. Yeah, well, I'm glad that she's put us in touch. I've spoken to her a couple of times. I'm on the same program as her, basically.
Okay, great. You know Lynette as well?
Well, sort of, yeah. And she basically posted some details about where you're at currently and said if there's anyone who would be open to having a chat about coaching. So I thought what might be good is if we could just have a 10-minute chat about your current situation and your goals and just see if it's something that I can help with.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, Yusuf, I'll be honest with you, I'm the fattest I've ever been at the minute, and it's really bothering me. But I've also got a lot of health issues, and yeah, so I could really do with some help.
Sure. So tell me a bit more about the health issues.
I've been going to PT sessions. I mean, I really want to be fitter, but it's all very fast and intense, and I get injured. I've got a problem with my neck at the minute. It's really sore, and it's kind of an ongoing thing that flares up, so I'm worried about that, and I'm worried about, doing any exercise and hurting myself again.
Right, okay. So you say you're the fastest you've ever been, and the PT sessions are a bit intense and just causing you to get injured and sort of going back into a cycle.
Yeah, I've hurt my knee, I've got this thing with my neck, and yeah, so it's just a pretty annoying place to be honest.
Oh dear. Yeah. Are you enjoying the PT sessions, aside from the injuries?
Well, I like the feeling I get afterwards when I'm not injured. But, like I said, I'm just feeling pretty over at the minute. And as a hairdresser, I'm seeing the same clients kind of after periods of time, and I just feel like every time they see us, they must think she's getting fatter.
Oh dear. Yeah, I guess that's not great to be public facing and feel like you're not comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. My clothes feel horrible, and yeah. So yeah, I'm really keen to do something about it. But I mean, I've got 2 young kids. Obviously, as a hairdresser, I'm super busy, and I've also got a pretty active social life. So it's also trying to balance things and fit something in that works for me.
Yeah, fair enough. So sounds like at the minute training is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You're struggling to fit things into kind of busy life at the minute, and you're getting some recurrent injuries.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And when was the last time that you trained?
Probably, I want to say a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, it might have been a bit longer.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm kind of worried about my neck at the minute, and I feel like I'm quite anxious about doing stuff because of the injuries.
Okay, so it's been a while. So you haven't been that consistent, I guess, because it's been so on and off.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's not really working for me at the minute. And so yeah, it's difficult to stick to, and I feel like it's kind of not doing anything. I'm just getting these injuries.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry to hear that. What about your diet? How's that looking?
Oh, I mean, I love food. I'm not going to lie. It's, and I crave like bad food. And because I've got 2 young kids, it's easy to just get a pizza and, put some chips in the oven, stuff like that, because it's quick and easy, and I crave food like that.
So sorry to interrupt there, Ella. So when you're busy, when you're stressed, it sounds like you end up gravitating to the naughty foods. Or the easy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you find when you're stressed you snack more?
Yeah, I'm a grazer, I'd say, Yusuf. I do like a snack, and I think it's also being busy at work, sometimes don't get a proper lunch, so it means that I'm kind of snacking loads because I'm not having proper meals.
Okay. Have you done anything with your diet in the past? Have you tried any diet programs?
I did have a coach who put me on calorie restriction, and I was doing a lot of walking, which I really enjoyed. I think it's quite therapeutic just getting out for walks. I really like that. But then that the coach moved on to something else, so that ended. But yeah, actually, looking back, that did work quite well for me. I think having someone tell me what to eat was quite useful. Okay,
so you need a bit of structure. A couple more questions for you, Ella. You said that you were stressed at the moment. How's your sleep?
Terrible. Really bad.
Okay. How many hours of sleep are you getting per night?
I'd say probably 6 on a good night.
Any interruptions during the night?
Yeah, my youngest sometimes is up in the night, so I'm getting up and then I struggle to get back to sleep. So yeah, I realise it's not good.
Right, okay, so that can't be helping.
No, I don't imagine it is.
Sure. So, Ella, if I can just find out a bit more about kind of where you're looking to get to, and then I can talk to you about what I do and see if it's something that can fit in with you. Ideally, what would be your ideal outcome with, across the board, across the stuff we've just spoken about? So your diet, your training, your sleep, your stress, what would be a good outcome for you?
I suppose I just want to feel nice in my clothes again. And I suppose having some kind of like food that I really enjoy. Like, I don't want to be craving rubbish all the time. I like all foods. I just want to be able to, I want eating healthy to be easier. And I just want to stop having these constant injuries and worrying and stressing about them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it sounds like maybe the current training approach you've been doing isn't really a good fit for you right now.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
I don't want to throw shade at your personal trainer, but it just sounds like if you're rebounding back and forth with injuries and your diet isn't on point, it's maybe a bit too much on your plate right now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it feels like a lot, and I don't really know where to start, and then I end up getting stressed about it, and yeah.
So, and I'm going to be honest with you, you will be my first client with this new offer, and this is.
Really?
But I'm not someone that's new to this. Basically, I've done a lot of experimentation with myself. I've worked with a couple of friends informally around this. But the offer that I'm looking to build, and the reason that I want to get in touch, is actually that it's centered around breath as the central point that connects all of the things that we just discussed. So your diet, your stress, your sleep, and honestly, it was when I discovered this that I kind of realized myself what was the missing piece in me dealing with my food cravings and recovery and poor sleep. I used to work in an office job and I was just stressed out of my mind all the time. So although it sounds like a bit of a wacky suggestion, I do think that this is something that would be a good fit for you. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to address your training and your diet and things too, but it sounds like right now we want to just get our head above water and then we can start introducing that other stuff. How does that sound?
It sounds good. So are you saying that we'd start with some breathing? And I mean, I've heard stuff about how good breathing is. You know, I get that. But would I be doing some exercise, and would you be helping me with my food and stuff as well as that?
Well, potentially if we were to work together. But yeah, I mean.
But would that be included in the program?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be my first client, so we'll basically build out the program based on your needs.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds excellent.
Cool. But I guess before going down that route, what do you think is stopping you from hitting your goal on your own?
I don't know. I think I'm just too busy and injured, and I don't feel like I've been enjoying it.
Right. Okay. What was it that prompted you to get in touch with, or to mention to the net that you're looking for someone?
Because I really want to do something about it. As I said, like I just feel horrible at the minute, and I know that if I was in a good program that was working and I was enjoying it, then I could achieve my goals and feel better about myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So that's really helpful. I've got all the information I need, and I can definitely help with this. So as I say, the program that I'm launching is really designed to help people go from stressed, poor recovery, poor sleep, injured, feeling scattered, to feeling more clear and calm and inhabiting their body and being able to improve their sleep and their cravings and all of that stuff. And it's kind of using the strategies that I've developed over the years to do that.
Well, that sounds excellent for me.
Nice. And really, we want to be able to work around your busy life. I realise you've got 2 kids, you've got busy work, so I don't want to add more to your plate. And so it really is designed to be able to fit into your life. And the method that we use for that is what I call breath pills, which are just short, actionable things that you can do throughout the day while you're in action, even while you're doing someone's hair, just to reset your baseline and basically establish a new set point for you, so that you're back in the driver's seat, and then we can get on top of the cravings and start building in some of the diet and training stuff too.
Excellent.
So I know it's not quite what you were coming in for, but this is something that I've had such good success with that I would really encourage you to just try it for a month and see how you go. And if it's not a good fit, there's no tie-in, so we can always part ways.
I suppose for me, because I'm injured, the idea of having a slow start really appeals to me. I really like that idea.
Cool. Sounds good. So any other questions for me?
How much is it?
So because you're my first client and because I'm going to be building this up, I'm starting at £59 a month.
Okay.
The reason for that is that it's a beta program for me, so I'm basically offering it at less than half price so that I can get some feedback from you and you can hopefully help me to build this and help more people.
Okay.
Cool. So that was easy then. We're ready to get started.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. At the moment my gym membership's £40 a month, so I suppose it's a bit more than what I'm paying. And I don't know.
Okay. So it's the price that's the issue.
Yeah, I suppose I'm just not 100% sure if now is the best time to start. What if I've said I'm injured? What if I pay that money and then I get another injury?
Yeah, I totally appreciate that. On the gym membership, you said that you're paying £40 a month and you haven't been for a couple of weeks. What would make it a no-brainer for you?
I suppose if I knew it was going to work.
Okay. And what you're currently doing, the £40 a month, fair to say it's not working for you?
True, yes, that is true.
Sure. So I think with that in mind, and given the goal that you mentioned of feeling more comfortable in your skin, feeling less stressed at work, getting over some of the injuries, assuming I could deliver that, what would that be worth to you?
Oh, everything.
Would it be worth £59 a month?
When you put it like that, yeah, to feel nice again. And yeah, true. And it's not really that much more than what I'm paying at the minute.
Cool.
Okay. But what about an injury? Would I be able to pause the program if I was injured, or?
So I feel like I wouldn't be serving you best if I was getting you injured, first of all, with my program. But also, if we would just start stopping all the time, I think that wouldn't help give you the momentum that you need. So we can always work around that. We can adapt to it. The first couple of weeks, we'll start with some, just the initial breath exercises, establish your baseline, get your recovery capacity up, and then we can start adding in the other stuff too. And I'm not a huge fan of the super high intensity stuff. We want to keep things moving and avoid injury where possible.
Okay, so if I was muscle and neck, you would just avoid stuff with my neck?
Yeah, we wouldn't want to be exacerbating things.
That makes me feel better. Okay, yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm happy to go ahead. And if I don't like it, can I leave the program?
Yeah, you can cancel any time. We'll just work month by month. I'm pretty convinced that the amount of value you get out of this, you'll want to stay for a long time, but that's for me to prove to you.
Okay. No, I'm feeling good. I'm in, yeah.
Cool. You in today or next week?
Today.
Cool. I admire that. I know that a lot of the time people are, life gets very busy and they go, I'll start next week and so on. It's possible to just keep kicking the can down the road that way.
Yeah, I see your point, and yeah, I'm ready. I'm in. I want to go for it.
Great stuff. So next steps then, I will send you a payment link. We'll get set up. We can book in a more in-depth call to set up with your goals and get the plan together. And then we'll check in once a week on WhatsApp. If there's anything that you need in the meantime, you can always message me on there, but I'll go through the details after the call.
Excellent, amazing. I'm excited, Yusuf. Thank you so much for going through that with me. And yeah, I'll send the money over when I receive the link.
Nice one, Ella. Looking forward to working with you.
You too, Yusuf. Thank you.
Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great stuff. So went through that call with Ella. She had a price objection, and looked like once we handled that, it also dealt with the time objection. So we didn't have to go too hard on that. She's going to try for £59 for the first month. So now I need to send her the payment link and start working with her. After my call yesterday, Ella has now signed up, so I've just received a payment notification So now my next steps are to make sure that she fills in the PAR-Q and signs my terms according to the advice that my coach has given me. And now I need to start coaching her. So what do? Well, I've just been over to the client management section in the module, and I see that there's two main lessons here. So there is to be client-led and be responsive rather than preempting. So don't create imaginary work for myself and base my systems on reality. Okay, so that's caused me to hold my horses because I don't want to jump in and create a whole bunch of stuff that the client doesn't want. The other thing is that it said to keep it lightweight. So I'm going to take on these two principles and just double check with my coach, Clarissa. Hey coach, so thanks for your advice. She signed up. So I had a quick call with her, just thought it might be easier because I don't know her and I'm not averse to doing calls. But I messed up a couple of times on the script. I didn't quite get the sequencing right. And she was talking about pain in her neck when she's at work. And I thought, actually, I should have gone into posture. That would have been a great bridge for that. But either way, she signed up £59 a month for my first client. And I've taken your advice. I've set up my PAR-Q and my terms and sent her a payment link through Pulse. So now I just want to know, what do you think the best thing to do for coaching her is? I'll tell you what I thought was, after watching the Client Management 101 module, I see that I should keep it lightweight and only build out systems in response to what the client needs. So what I was thinking of doing was coaching her on WhatsApp to begin with, having an initial goals call and then a check-in every week. And then based on what she's asking for and the kind of themes that come up, I could then build stuff out. But I'm going to be a bit cautious because she isn't exactly in my niche. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions, that would be great. And thanks so much for your help so far. Okay, so there is client number 1, and I can now proudly go to opportunities and update the status of Lynette's hairdresser to 1 on the bottom. She will then appear in my clients pipeline in here as 1. So there is my first client. So at this point, I want to start coaching Ella, and based on the guidance in here, I want to keep it lightweight. So I'll use tools that I already have. So I'll just send her a message on WhatsApp, book in an onboarding call with her, and then start doing weekly check-ins. I'm not sure what the weekly check-ins are going to look like, but that's fine. We can be guided by the client because it's my first one, and we'll use that to figure things out and eventually create the car out of a skateboard. Next, I need to go back to doing the reps. So just turning up and doing the boring basics each day. So as a recap, we've got the niche and the offer in place, and now I want to go to my bait builder and continue making some posts in here. I already started doing a couple, so I'm going to spend 10 minutes making some bait builders to drum up interest and generate leads, and then I'm going to convert those leads like you saw yesterday. So messaging people in my lead dump, seeing if they or any of their friends would be interested in my offer, adding them to my opportunities pipeline in here, and then following up with the ones that I've already spoken to. This is the boring reps that just needs to be done for the first 10 clients. So every day I'm going to spend, how long did it take me last time? Like 4 minutes to send my daily volume of outbound messages and about 5 minutes to create the bait builder. So it's a really small amount of work each day, but if I can just stay consistent, you can see that I would get the 10 one-to-one clients. So I'm aware that this video series is already several hours and this is going to be very repetitive for you to see me just continue to do this, but this is the target volume, the day-to-day stuff. And then if I run into any problems or if I need to troubleshoot anything, I would turn up on a hot seat, I would ask my coach, I would ask in the community, I would look at what other people are doing in the community, and we can course correct as we go along. Finally, if I continue doing my bait builder and it's getting no traction, and I've truly exhausted all of the leads that we went through in the lead dump, which was over 1,000, 1,500 people. So it would take quite a while to truly exhaust them. But assuming I did, then we would maybe go back to the pretender method, which I remember seeing in the getting one-to-one clients section. And in the start of the video, it was saying that this maybe wasn't for me until I'd got everything else set up. So then we could go through the pretender method, and that takes 45 minutes a day to generate new interest to my account as well. The way that I would go about that is I would go back to my breath coach profile, which is now set up and optimized for people to land on my profile, see some good quality content and want to get in touch. Then once I get up to 10 one-to-one clients, we can get on to the exciting bit of using those clients as a way to refine my offer, sharpen the arrow, and then build that into an automated selling sequence and create the 14-day challenge, start running it, and start growing my online fitness business properly. Good morning, it's the next day, and I've got a response from my coach.
Hello. Hello, Yusuf. Coach Clarissa here. This voice note was so distressing to hear that it actually sent me into heart palpitations, and for this reason my advice to you is to just quit the program. We're going to give you a full refund. No, in fact, because you're so bad, we are actually going to pay you to never contact us again and to never be associated with Propane. I would like you to please delete Telegram, leave the country, and just pretend that this never happened. I hope you take my constructive criticism well, and all the best for your new life.
Well, that's me done. End of series. I'm going home. Well, after that heartbreaking message, I think I'm going to need to send her a reply. Clarissa, please. I want to make a success of this. Don't just pay me to go away. Can you just give me a proper answer, please? Oh, I didn't see her second message. She said, sorry, I was having a bad day. Here's my proper response.
Hey Yusuf, well done on getting your first clients. So I wouldn't worry too much about the script or sweating the small stuff there. Really what's important about your first client is getting some feedback from them so you can mold your offer for your niche. And they will be really helpful in giving you all the feedback that you need for that. What I would say now is important for you is to focus on some outreach. So short, sharp bursts of that per day, about 20 minutes. And alongside that, you want to move on to start to look at the 14-day challenge modules.
Okay, my faith has been restored. I've got some guidance. I've got some direction. Now let's go to the next steps. So let's say that I've started working with Ella through WhatsApp. I'm continuing to do the daily volume every day for a couple of weeks, which is 30 minutes of spear gun and bait builder and maybe some pretender method if I'm struggling to get new leads in. 30 minutes minimum per day. It's not a huge amount, as you've seen. I was able to bash through everything in a very short time. So we do that. We build up the one-to-one client base, and simultaneously, Clarissa has said to start setting my eye towards the automated selling system, the AS. So I'm going to the building AS section of the program. It's 63 minutes for the what and why, and then 2 hours for building the resources. So let's assume that I've been through this. I understand that the AS is basically the client magnet. It's a short, easy workshop that turns strangers into clients. It's designed to break false beliefs, and that there's no hard sell needed because of the way that it's structured, and therefore it doesn't need sales calls. I also see that the point of it is to expose the problem and get rid of what's in the way. I understand the goal is 3% lead to sale, and to create a brilliant experience, not try and overhaul their life, make it specific with 7 days of content and 7 days of follow-up. So now on to picking my topic, and I need to understand these principles, okay? And then I can do a poll if I'm stuck between 2 different topics, and always to market validate. And what I need to understand is the burning desire of the 8 one-to-one clients that I'm working with. I've watched all of these videos on my morning walk, and so I understand that I have to create basically a longer-term roadmap. This is all a bit overwhelming. Hopefully there's a template in my Notion dashboard that I can use to fill in for my breathing offer. Cool, and then there's some stuff about promoting it, which I'm not up to just yet. And I need to join a bunch of challenges as well. Okay, well, let's do that. So this is the share your ass section. It looks like there's hundreds of people who have got other challenges as well. So I'm going to join some of these. So I'm going to join Benjamin's challenge. This is for young parents to achieve their fitness goals. Cool. So let's opt into this. And I'm going to participate in his challenge here. I'm going to do the same with Anna's. This is about improving consistency and faith using a fit and focused system. Sounds good. I'm just going to keep it simple to begin with. I'm going to just stick with Facebook until I've got some data to show whether I need to change that. I have some guidance here on creating the challenge videos, and then the price, how to create the 2-step pricing form, and then putting it all together. So what I'm getting from this module is that to start building an automated selling system, it really has to solve a very specific problem. And I'm realizing that right now my offer is a bit vague, it's a bit open-ended. So I need to look at what is the specific problem that's emerged from working with the first 8 people that I'm working with one-to-one, and use that to sharpen the arrow. So look at the lead domino. Is it stress? Is it posture? Is it recovery? Is it sleep? Is it fat loss? And then dial in on that, and then use my unique mechanism as the bridge to get them from A to B via C without D. I started off with people at £59 a month. I then went to £79 for the next 3, and then I went to £99 for the next 2. And I get one more person at £99, and then I'm going to increase my price again. So that means that currently my clients are getting me £612 per month. Now, what I'm doing here is looking at some of the notes that I've written about each person to see if there's any common threads that I can build into my automated selling system. So David Cameron struggles to switch off after work. He ruminates at night about mismanaging the country. He's got modest physique goals, some bad diet habits. He's often craving sugar and snacking throughout the day, which is very naughty. So we've also got Craig David, so he's a singer-songwriter, and he experiences vocal fatigue throughout the day. He also finds it hard to switch off when he's going to sleep. He's got quite a high-pressure job being an international pop rap superstar. Next, we've got Harold Pickleswick. So he was feeling stressed at work. Again, poor sleep, so it seems to be a common pattern. Harold actually doesn't train and doesn't have any interest in doing it as well. Charles Grubsworth, his girlfriend tells him he's got bad posture, wants to gain muscle. He's very skinny, he's 52 kilos, and he's tried in the past with no success, but he's just never stuck to a consistent program. He's always under eating. So it's quite simple from a training perspective. I don't need to get too into the weeds with him, but we're using a lot of the breath pills with him, and that's improving his ability to regulate his own mood, and it's improving his posture too. So what I want to do now is take them into this and identify what are some of the common themes. So it seems to be sleep, stress, and posture. And then the secondary benefit is recovery and stuff, as we were speaking to Aaron, for example, about that, but that doesn't seem to be the most urgent thing to somebody. These are the ones that we want to lead with. So based on the themes from working with people, we want to sharpen the axe and lead with the sleep, stress, and posture stuff. So now we're really starting to take that data from those existing clients and refine it into something that's a bit more specific. So if we compare that to the 50 solutions that we were looking at before, and there's a whole bunch of different problems here that we've now been able to dial in a little bit more. So the big idea remains the same, the selling proposition and the unique mechanism remains the same, and I'm actually going to copy this over into my challenge plan and say, I help stressed people to eliminate cravings, improve their sleep, and regain space in their day and in their body via breath pills, unique mechanism. So that's still a bit wordy, but it helps us to create the North Star for the next steps. So what am I going to use as a measurable? Well, instinctively I want to say an HRV measure. Problem is, not everybody has a tracking device, and I can't expect people in a free challenge to buy one just for the sake of the program. So I need something like HRV and a subjective measure after watching the test-retest of stress and maybe sleep as well. So ideally, if someone can get a score, then that would be really useful. So I've got day, objective, headline, limiting belief, solution, task, and call to action. So I just need to go and fill this in using some stuff that I've learned from working with clients, from my own experience as a fictional breath coach. So let's say that I'm really stuck for ideas. Well, I'm going to go into my second brain, which looks like this, and I'm just going to search the word breath. So the first thing that comes up is Heart, Breath, Mind. This is a book that I've read recently about HRV, so we can take some ideas from this. There's a few great breathing exercises like the bubble that I think might work well, so let's copy that. I'm completely freeballing here, so just bear with me. Breath ideas. Next, let's have a look at some more breath stuff. So we've got this quote, which is about building continuity in that. So let's say, what else? Okay, so we've got the core of the Alexander technique, which is awareness, surrender, and integration. So let's take that in there as well. I'm just using these as very rough notes to begin with. We've got the 4 pillars. So maybe there's something here that I can adapt as well. This is just all from a summary of a book about the Alexander technique. Let's have a look. Anything else that we can type in for breath? Got the vagus nerve. So there's a few things in there to do with the benefits of focusing on breath. So let's paste that in there too. We've got Tools of Titans here, so we can talk about this breathing exercise from Tim Ferriss. These are all just little highlights that I've done from reading articles and things. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to use my brain rather than GPT and pull out some of the key pillars that I think I can fit into this. And then if I'm struggling, I can then use GPT to help structure the information a little bit more. So based on the stuff in the roadmap and what we were saying in here, we know that we want to help people to eliminate cravings, improve their sleep, regain their space, and so on. Now, I'm not very good with bits of paper and pens and stuff, so personally I quite like to use any kind of mind mapping tool, but let's say we put this over here. This is the end point, and I guess what are the kind of benefits of that is that their physique improves, their sleep is better, their relationships, and all that kind of stuff. We can get some measurables in place in a minute, but we have point A, which is the stress with the consequences of that. So that's cravings, bad sleep, bad posture, recovery, all that kind of stuff. But stress is the arrowhead, isn't it? That's the kind of original thing, which is the problem. So we want to achieve a reduction in their stress over the first 14 days. Now, how do we do that? Through the breath pills. And we can come up with some of the specifics in there, but we need to fix their limiting beliefs around that and help them to realize that improving their breath is the thing which is then going to get them to this result. And this result would be the paid program. How does that tie in to my paid program? And then how does that look in the challenge structure? So I'm going to keep this quick and dirty here. So let's look at this. There's one potential exercise that we can do. I think that's a really powerful one, and they can do it throughout the day. So that handles the limiting belief maybe that they don't have time to do this kind of stuff. Awareness is kind of the key point. So that's maybe one of my main pillars of my breath philosophy. I'm talking about Alexander, the actor, and the cues that they can use. And then we have the pillars there as well, so that's of a different model, but I can maybe borrow some stuff from that. And then we have some other vagal tips as well. And these are just from some very rough notes. So I've already got some ideas, and just to set an example of using my brain before I start relying on GPT too much. So we've got the principles here. So we say that breath is at the core. It's the interface between energy and consciousness, and it drives all downstream processes. What I'm going to finally do is take all of this. Notice that I've already done the thinking and I've planned out some rough things here. So I'm going to open GPT and say, I am a breath coach running a 14-day challenge. Here are some rough, unstructured notes. Help me to structure the days in my challenge according to the framework given. Use some of the notes from my reading materials. And the result is day 1, day 2, day 3. Amazing. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to use that as the basis for my video scripts. So I've now designed, written, and scripted a challenge that's almost ready to go in 20 minutes. The only thing remaining is that I don't have a kind of core model. So before I record this, I want to take a look at my roadmap overall and just create a kind of core model, which I think in my case is that breath is at the core, and then everything else comes out as a result, doesn't it? So we've got, as we've said, stress, posture, recovery, cravings, performance, cognition, sleep, relationships. Okay, so there's quite a lot in there, but we are focusing on stress as the big one to improve. And then we need to introduce the model that the breath is the engine. So we could just say, generate an image depicting the breath as the engine of the body. This might give me some ideas on how to do this. Okay, cool. It's not quite what we were looking for, but let's put it in there for now. Yeah, breath is kind of the core mechanism, but let's say replace his lungs with an engine. So there's one concept, we have the breath as an engine, and then one other option is that maybe the breath is like the compass between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, just making stuff up here. So create an image of a relaxed looking person with a compass on their chest to represent the lungs being the compass of the body. Well, that is, okay, that's actually perfect. So that'll do for now. We have a few different concepts that we can play with, that the breath is the compass, and I can use that to introduce my model and then say that here breath is the foundation between all these other things, and it's where you point the compass. Okay, it's not perfect, but that'll do. So now, next step is to dive in, start recording these challenge videos. Just need to create the videos and then create the price and the structure and put it all together. That's exciting. What's to come next? We've got promoting us, so that is going through crafting the posts to promote it, building the sign up page and all that stuff. Cool, so we've got that stuff to look forward to, and then we've got running us as well. Cool, I will see you tomorrow morning. Welcome back. So yesterday we took the core problems that my clients were facing and identified what is the most urgent one, and we turned that into a challenge script. And it seems like stress is the key. That was the lead domino or the entry point to take people through my coaching program. And so if I can help them to start to solve that one problem at the beginning, then everything else will fall into place. Now, at this point, things are moving quite fast and it's all quite overwhelming. So let's say I've got a bit of imposter syndrome right now and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling the tendency to procrastinate. So I've got two choices at this point. I can either continue to procrastinate, do nothing, or just sit and do all the things that don't need to be done right now. So I could try and solve problems that I don't have. I could spend hours looking for the perfect personal training app, trying to create a website. Don't know why, but it seems like a productive thing to do. I could start fiddling around with production quality and microphones and all that stuff. Or I could recognize that that's what's happening, watch the troubleshooting module, and keep things moving. So that's what I'm going to do. I can totally see how sitting in the cave doing my niche research for 6 months or 12 months and never actually market testing anything is a really tempting prospect, because it means that I never have to face the potential for failure or rejection. But that's not getting the result that I came to this for. So let's keep things moving. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Okay, so I have some scripts for the videos. In fact, they're not scripts, they're just bullet points that we used synthesizing the past reading and stuff from the second brain using this framework, and I've got some scripts here. Now, I am happy to just read from bullet points and have a go. If not, I would maybe use a teleprompter, like it's recommended in the modules. And there's loads of free apps on my phone that I could use a teleprompter for. But for now, I'm going to build in mud. I'm just going to have a go at this. And literally, I haven't practiced any scripts or anything. I've just managed to get a little tripod for my phone. So there's no need for any kind of fancy equipment. And I'm just going to literally set it up like that and hit record. So let's go. Something has got to change, I told myself. I was lying there in a hospital bed, having put myself in that bed. That's because I started a new job 2 months earlier, and I was running myself into the ground. I'd skipped training for 3 weeks in a row, I wasn't sleeping properly, I was being more ratty with my partner, and it was all because I was making excuses like, I just need to get this project out of the way, and I'll just clear out these emails and things before I can start taking care of myself. And what it took for me, my stubborn thick head, was to actually become ill and hospitalise myself before I could recognise that this is not going to change until I change the way that I deal with stress. So I went on a journey over the next few weeks and months and figured out a way that I could. So I went on a journey over the next weeks and months, and so I went down a rabbit hole over the next few weeks and months to establish a. So I went on a journey over the next few weeks and months that put me back in the driver's seat, back in control of my sleep, my recovery, my stress. It improved the way that I show up in my relationships and my relationship with my body. The great thing is, it didn't take hours of meditation or loads of time out of my day to be able to do this. Since then, I've been helping clients to do exactly the same thing. We've been getting great results so far, and I want to welcome you to this challenge. Since then, I've been helping clients to transform their relationship with their body and stress through the power of breath, and I'm really excited to share this with you over the next few days in this challenge. So thank you for joining us. Now, today, we're going to just introduce the concept of unlocking your breath and transforming your life. This might not be something that you give much thought to. And the biggest thing that I hear people say is, I don't have time for this. I really want to help you challenge that today and realize that you do not need long stints of time to get back on top of this. But if you don't do something about it now, nothing's going to change. You're going to continue to be in the same rut that you've always been. So I want to introduce the concept of breath pills. These are quick, effective breathing exercises that can fit into any schedule. So what I'd like you to do over the next few days is follow along with the exercises, and you will see a massive transformation in the way that you're feeling in your body, and you'll see the power of this yourself. So to do that, we need to first get a baseline of where you're at. So I would like you to fill in the comment below. We want to get a measure of your stress and your sleep quality to start with. If you have a tracking device such as this, or a Whoop band or a Fitbit or something that tracks your heart rate variability, that would also be really useful. But don't go out and buy one just yet. We just want to get a measure of where we're at right now. So the things that I'm interested in and that you'll see some improvement in are how long it takes you to get to sleep. This is called your sleep latency. So last night, if you remember how long it took you to get to sleep, if it was excessively long, please write that down. If not, tonight, I want you just to pay attention to how long that is and then let me know in the morning. Next, I want you to let me know how well you slept. If you have an objective measure, that's great, but otherwise rate it out of 10 and how tired you feel this morning. Plus, along with that, we want to know, as well as that, let me know how. Finally, rate your level of stress out of 10, both when you are at work and when you're at home. I want to know the difference between the two numbers so that we can see what are the biggest stressors. Finally, if you can rate your level of stress when you're at home and when you're at work out of 10. So we want two numbers here, and that way we can then see what's the main cause of your stress and what can we focus in on and when we can take our breath pills every day. Okay, so post below with those numbers, I'll put a reminder, and say hello, welcome everyone else. So post below with those numbers, I'll stick a reminder and so post below with those numbers, I'll stick in a reminder and I'll so post below with those numbers, I'll stick in So post below with those numbers, I'll put a reminder of what we're looking for, and say hello to everybody because you're joining this journey. We're all in this together over the next 14 days. All right, speak soon. Cool. So that's video number 1. I'm going to bash through the rest of these. I made a few mistakes, obviously, but I can edit out those bits using Descript, so I'm not too bothered about that. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's just do number 2 as well. I'm completely making things up here, but there we go. Right. Day 2. Welcome back. You made it. So thank you for posting your numbers for your baseline sleep and stress days. This will be really useful to then look back on in a few days' time, and you will see the transformation that you've made. So I want to talk to you about the importance of breath and why this is so important to me. This is something that I would have considered to be very woo-woo a few years ago, but now I realise that it is the gateway to your vitality. Breath is the interface between energy and consciousness. It's the thing which acts as the compass or the kind of dial for whether we are amped up in fight-flight or we're relaxed in rest and digest. And it's the one part of our autonomic nervous system that is actually under our conscious control if we want it to be, which is amazing. And it's something it's a tool that very few of us consciously use. And what happens instead is we're just always wound up, always in that semi-fight-flight state. No wonder our posture's bad, we're hunched up, we're tense, we're not sleeping well, because we're not taking control of our breath. So how do you fix that? I'm going to introduce the overall model of what I teach with you today and a taster of one of the exercises that you can use while you're at work, while you're at home, while you're having a difficult conversation. And it doesn't need several hours. It is literally a 30 to 60 second breath practice. So this is a practice that you can do throughout the day to repeatedly come home. And my task for you today is to try it at least 3 times. And if you enjoyed it, if you get some use out of it, continue doing it over the next few days. This is called the bubble technique. So I picked this up from Leah Lagos. And what you need to do, let's just start going inwards. Eventually we can. So let's start with doing it eyes closed. And then as you get better at it, you can do it in action. So close your eyes and imagine that there's a bubble that's starting in the middle of your chest and it grows upwards and outwards, starts to fill your body and starts to go up to your head and down to your feet. And as it expands, every time you breathe in, it expands, and every time you breathe out, it contracts slightly. But it's just getting bigger and bigger each time until it's surrounding your whole body. Tune in to the feelings of safety of being inside that bubble. Bring your attention back to your heart again. And imagine you're breathing in through your heart and out through the bubble. And the bubble is moving out and in with your breath. Let's just hold that for a second. Now, identify any negative feelings that you might have right now. Just what's here, no need to go looking for them. And as you breathe in, allow those to come up. And as you breathe out, you push them outside of the bubble. You're safe in this bubble. So each time you breathe in, any residual feelings that come up, push them outside of the bubble. And let's just take 3 more breaths while you're here. And push everything out. Okay, open your eyes, you're back in the room. Notice the difference in how you're feeling now compared to just when you started this video. And how long did that take? So this story of I don't have time is a story that we tell ourselves to avoid just going inside for a moment, just confronting our feelings and doing something to get back in neutral again, back in the driver's seat. And imagine if you did this multiple times a day, you'd be able to stop any kind of stress in its tracks. The great thing is, and we're going to do this over the next couple of days, is bring the bubble into your day-to-day life when you need it most. Because anyone can be peaceful, sat on a cushion, meditating for 20 minutes when you're in a warm room and no one's around you, but the real challenge is bringing that to the outside world, and that's where I want to have the most impact on you and that's where I want to have the most impact to give you the skill set to be able to bring all of the power. And that's where I want to have the most impact on you so you can bring that skill set to your everyday life. Okay, so share your experience of the bubble technique in the group chat. Remember, on Friday, we're going to have. So share your experiences of how you found that bubble technique in the chat below. So share your experiences of how you found that bubble technique in the comments below. And we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, we have got a live implementation workshop on day 5. So make sure to register for that. We'll be putting all of these practices together and I'll be answering any questions live on the call with you. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, I'm just cold reading it, but there we go. And let's do the next few. Really for this challenge, I only need to record 5 videos and the rest can be emails or videos. Now, let's say I'm not a big fan of doing videos, so I'm just gonna do these ones and then I'll write some emails for the remainder. I can then add some in if need be. But this is already taking shape, and how long has that taken me? 15 minutes. Welcome back. Yesterday we recorded day 1 and 2, so today we're going to record days 3, 4 and 5. To keep it looking authentic, like I haven't just sat and recorded it all in one day, I'm going to go change my t-shirt. So, here we go. Just thought I'd make this as exciting a series as possible. Here we go. Right. Hopefully that keeps you watching for this several-hour series. On to day 3. I'm going to maybe make this the hook. Here's what you're currently doing. The way you're currently breathing is costing you your life. And explain why that is. Let's go. So let's get the tripod set up. And let's set this on here.
But Yusuf, I've been breathing all my life. This isn't going to change anything. What am I doing in a breathing challenge anyway? I've got better things to do. I guarantee you will have already had some variant. You will probably have had some variant of that thought so far. And I guarantee that the way that you're currently approaching your breathing is costing you your life. And I'm not saying that lightly. There is such a massive set of downstream effects of improper breathing that I had to experience the hard way until I could come out the other end and share with you what I have to share over this challenge. So if you don't believe me, look at the way that you're sat right now. Put your hand on your chest, look at the way that you're breathing. You're probably breathing up here. Do you feel 100% relaxed right now? Probably not. And I certainly was. And it was affecting... I certainly was when I put myself in hospital, and I realised how much it was affecting every aspect of my life, my relationship with myself, my relationship with others. And so this one thing, misusing this compass that we have for our nervous system, starts to affect all of the other processes in our body. Our stress, our sleep, our relationships, our ability to think clearly, all of these things. So I know yesterday we talked about the fact that we don't necessarily need to have long stints of breathing practice, and I'm going to just give you another breath pill for today. So today's task is the do nothing approach, one of my favourites. This comes from a guy called Alexander, who was the proponent of the Alexander technique, who was an actor and realised that he was misusing himself for the purpose of acting. So as this exercise, what I want you to do is hold your arms up. Just hold them up there for a moment, just get the feel for what it's like to have your arms up like this. And then notice that it's your mind that's holding the arms up. If you were to just completely let go of... Now you can imagine that if you were holding the arms up for... Now you can imagine that if you were holding your arms up for long enough, you'd probably think that this was normal, but you would feel the... You can imagine that if you were just walking around holding your arms up all the time, your shoulders would start to get quite tired, but you'd also just kind of get used to this horrible feeling of tension. But at the same time, you always have the option of just dropping them. And notice as soon as you flip that switch, the arms drop, everything feels more relaxed. Seems like a silly example, but this is happening all the time, on a subtle level inside. We're always holding some degree of protective tension, and the option is always there to just stop doing that and just let it go. And it can happen in the same instant as dropping your arm. And you notice that it's not a gradual process, it's not like you have to really try and pull it down, it just drops in one go. So today's exercise is just tune in every couple of hours and notice, where am I holding my arms up? And how can I just drop it? Sometimes this helps to do a sigh of relief. Sometimes it helps to do a sigh of relief because That's what animals do all the time to recalibrate their nervous system and drop any residual tension they have. Sometimes you'll see animals shake off the tension after a stressful event as well. So 3 steps, very simple. Tune in to what's going on. So awareness is always step 1. Step 2, sigh of relief, do nothing. Let go of the tension that you are adding in. And if you start to do this simple exercise multiple times a day, you'll notice that you're the one that's keeping that stress in motion. And there's always the choice to just drop it. So don't be fooled by how simple this exercise is. Let us know any reflections that you've noticed when we first tuned in to what's going on. We are calibrating the nervous system here, and all of these touch points will eventually become something. We're calibrating the nervous system here, and all these little touch points will eventually coalesce and become a new baseline state, a new way of using yourself. So hopefully we've handled that belief today that I've been breathing all my life, I know what I'm doing. You've already noticed now that you're holding much more tension than you need to be. This is just a taste of one of the ways that we fight against our sympathetic nervous system. We're going to be putting it all together on day 5 on the implementation workshop. So register below, turn it live, and we can go through some of this stuff and create a roadmap for you so that you can take this into your life above and beyond this challenge. All right? See you tomorrow.
Cool. So that's day 3. Bit stumbly. And then let's just roll straight into day 4.
This stuff seems great, but I don't see it fitting into my hectic schedule. Here's why that is a false belief. This stuff seems great, but I just don't see it fitting into my hectic schedule. I'm going to show you that that is a story that you're telling yourself to keep yourself in this kind of stressed but safe place. And sometimes, even if something's unpleasant, but because it's familiar, you remain in that state. So the key point is that the problem is not you, it's the approach. A lot of these recovery approaches are designed for full-time athletes who have the luxury of that stuff, but I know that you're busy, I know that you can't do that. That's what my program is designed to help you do. And if we were to work together long term, my goal is to take things off your plate rather than add more things onto it. So here's your task for the day. Step 1, set 5 alarms throughout the day. So 8, 12, 2, 5, 7, and 9, for example, and use those as a time to check in and do either the bubble practice or the do nothing Alexander drop. That's all we need, just to have a quick check in and we're joining those dots. Second thing, share below your experience so far. Hopefully you're already starting to see some shifts in how you're feeling compared to day 1, where we checked our sleep latency, our sleep quality, and our level of stress both at work and at home. And register for tomorrow's workshop, where we're going to put all of this together into a plan so that you can carry this into your daily life. Speak soon.
Okay, there we go. So there's days 4 and 5. Next, we need to go through the implementation workshop. And we want to talk about the cost of inaction. So I've just taken this from the bit above, that people are more ratty with their partners when they're stressed, they're sore. So it's looking at what's the cost of them not signing up for the program, looking at taking an outside in versus an inside out approach, and that we do both. And the live session, that's GPT making a mistake there. The actual task is to sign up for the program. So let's have a quick look through this. Welcome, thanks for joining. Please post below about how you found things so far this week. Can you see how the main problem, which is that I don't have time, is actually not a problem anymore? You've been able to fit this into your life with little breath pills of 30 seconds. And does everyone agree? You also probably believe that it's not going to work for you because X, Y, Z, and you can see why that's not a problem as well. And then deliverables, okay, fine, temp check. Regular price, we're going to say it's 200, and then the beta price for the new launch is 147 for 6 weeks, as has been recommended in the modules, and say that I've got 6 slots available, plus we'll add in some coaching calls for the first 5 people. Okay, and the call to action is this price until Sunday. So I can bring in a bit of the science in this one, create the urgency, and then days 9 to 14 will be signposting back to some of the practices, and the call to action is the coaching call. Great. Okay, so you can see how that didn't take me too long to do. I'm going to construct those final videos. I then just need to do a quick edit of the ones that I've got already. So I've watched the Descript tutorial video. It looks very straightforward. So I'm going to take the video that I've just recorded on my phone and then drag it into here. And we'll see that it should transcribe the video for me. I'll show you how I would do a quick edit of this. So this doesn't have to be a Hollywood style edit. It's just for removing the outtakes and adding some captions just to make it as watchable as possible. Remember, I'm building in mud at this point. So that's transcribed. We can see multiple takes here. We can see gaps between the attempts. And what I can do is say remove retakes in there. And then the AI is going to detect when I've tried something multiple times and hopefully shorten it from 6 minutes 28 to something much shorter. Okay, so it's found some retakes. Let's apply edits to the script. Incredible. So that's saved a huge amount of time. That's cut 2.5 minutes out of the video. Let's also just add captions as well. Now let's watch this in double speed and just see how this looks.
Something has got to change. I told myself as I was lying there in a hospital bed, having put myself in that bed. That's because I started a new job 2 months.
So we can bash out a couple of them. And then I need to build the sign up page, the promotional schedule, and all of that stuff. Okay, so it seems like there's a lot to do here. So I'm going to ask Clarissa on what I can do. Clarissa, help me. I've just recorded my challenge videos and I was ready to go, but now I'm seeing all this stuff about automations and landing page and Facebook Pixel, and I'm really worried that it's just going to take me a long time to get it all in place. And I want to follow the principle of build in mud, then build in concrete. What should I be focusing on to just get this first challenge up and running? Because it's a kind of rough draft. So what's the kind of minimum effective dose to avoid me getting stuck with landing pages and Pixel and all of that stuff? Okay, I'm going to wrap up for the day. We'll see what Coach Clarissa has said, and then we'll get to promoting the challenge. Do a quick recap of where we're at. So yesterday we recorded days 1 to 4. We did a quick drill of the live workshop from day 5, and I asked Clarissa what I'm going to do about starting to promote it and deal with all of the automations and so on. So let's have a quick look back to here. We've got building as. Where are we up to? Well, we've built the roadmap. We had a rudimentary version of that. I haven't turned it into a nice graphic yet, but I had this that I'd mapped out, so I can basically use this as initial roadmap. I could probably even just use this with a little bit of tweaking rather than playing around too much with things that aren't going to move the needle. So I'm going to leave that as incomplete for now. Let's go to structuring the week. So I'm pretty happy with all of this, and I've mapped out where I need to go. I can see that there are some templates for the logic, fear, and emotion follow-ups in the memberships section as well, so I'll get on to writing that soon. We have the test retest. Next, for promoting it, so I've got to continue making the bait builder posts, which is fine. I have some templates for creating the promos for the challenge with some examples, so I can do that as well. I've got a couple of ideas already that came to me in a dream, and then there's some more examples of promo videos and what we should include in this as well. The next step for me is building the sign-up page. Let's hear what Clarissa had to say.
Hey Yusuf, yeah, I hear you. There's a lot that you could potentially be doing in terms of automating using Pulse. However, for your first 14-day challenge, really, I just want you to focus on setting up your landing page and making sure that anyone who fills in the form on your landing page syncs to your contacts on Pulse. Then in your next challenge, when you've basically been able to work on it, use the feedback to improve it, we will then look at the email automations and all of the snazzier features that come with Pulse. However, the first one, you're just going to keep it simple, basic, and really the main point of it is just to get some feedback from people on how to improve anyway.
So send out the emails manually to begin with, the feedback, figure out what's working well, and then put that into the automations. And that makes sense rather than me automating something that's not validated and might not work. Okay, and if I go back to my dashboard, I can see that Clarissa has updated my roadmap. So we've got script the challenge, done, record the challenge videos, done, so we are way ahead of schedule. And then we have the next tasks with the relevant resources, so create the landing page and connect the domain. So I can follow those instructions and do that. Then I need to create the promo posts for the challenge, write out the remainder of the emails using the template, create a rough roadmap, which I've kind of got, I just need to finalize the design, and then write out the housekeeping section so that I'm ready to collect people into my challenge. So creating the landing page, if I go to the Pulse setup guide, let's go to here, just fill in the blanks here. So how to reduce your stress by 30% in 6 weeks without hours of meditation or cold showers using breath pills. Trademark. I can write up, hi, I'm Yusuf. I put myself in hospital from stress and overwork. Despite doing all the stuff, this improved my sleep, relationships, training, physique, and recovery. So that's all just based on the offer stuff that we have. That's not me, so I'm going to include the profile picture that I used before. You know what, it's a bit blurry, and for the sake of a landing page, let's do a different one. So let's use this. Cool. And then let's paste that in there. So I've got the opt-in, I've got the headline, I have some copy, which I think is a bit crap. So what I'm going to do is go to the hot seat calendar, and oh look, it looks like there's a copy and marketing hot seat today in 3 hours. So I'm going to go onto that and present my copy so that I can get that ripped apart and improve that. But right now, this does the job. I just need to maybe add a logo in there, which I have from here. It's not really a logo, but it'll do. So let's paste that in there. Okay, you know what, that looks terrible. I'm just going to remove it. I don't need a logo. I'm not going to be faffing around with that stuff. So just remove that. And then also, based on the principles that I've seen from the sign-up page, the more space that I can use for that real estate with the headline and so on, the better. So next, if I start making some of the challenge promo videos, I can also make a video for this page to convince people who've read this and are not fully sold that they should join. So I can record that in a second as well. Now, for the main mechanisms, let's call this breath pill 1, the bubble, breath pill, a 30-second exercise that you can do on the go to shift your state from fight, flight, chill, pill. Okay, then we have breath pill, the drop. Tune into how you're carrying stress in your body that you didn't even realize. And then mechanism 3, what were we saying in the mass roadmap that I just made up? Let's call it breath pill 3, how to slow down time. A technique to gain more hours in your day and think more clearly when you're stressed. So as a reminder, all of these are centered around work stress, which was the common thing that, speaking to clients, they were struggling with. I might need to change these icons as well because they don't make any sense today. I could just use that picture of a lung, couldn't I? And then let's see if there's any other things. I can create some AI. Got 2 variations of lungs in colourful style. Okay, that's a bit gruesome. Let's try again. Lungs in friendly icon style. Don't want it to look like a cadaver. Okay, slightly better, but no, you know what, that looks like a ball sack, so let's change it once more. Smiling, relaxed face. God, I'm not very good with AI, am I? So, right, forget that, forget the ball sack. What I'm going to do, I realise that I've got this image, so let's do that instead. Now I can make that a bit bigger, There we go. Much better. Much better. So let's do the same with this. Fine. This is no work of art, but it does the job. Next, we want to remove these because I don't have a Facebook, I don't have an Instagram, I don't have LinkedIn, I don't have a YouTube, and I don't have a TikTok. So they can find out more about me from Twitter or X. Otherwise, there we go. There's a landing page done. It's connected to the domain. Let's publish that. Let's just see what that looks like. Great. Reduce your stress by 30% in 6 weeks without hours of meditation or cold showers using breath pills. Put together a free workshop that eliminates work stress in 14 days using short practices built into your day. So we have the landing page created now. We can start sending traffic to that page and getting some opt-ins. So I went on the hot seat with Alice and I got some advice here. So the first thing was to change the headline to cut stress at work by 30% in just 6 weeks without long meditation or cold showers using breath pills. The other feedback I got was that this picture of me smiling like a creep in the dark isn't very good for landing page. So instead, Alice recommended that I use one that's a little bit more fun. I'm going to use this one from Holiday of me drinking a coconut because it conveys stress-free lifestyle. Next thing, she agreed that I shouldn't have a picture of a ball sack on the picture. Final thing was to add some testimonials. So if I add a column in here, I can either do reviews, and that's public reviews that are sent in from Google and Facebook and so on. We can add some testimonials. My lovely clients have left me some nice testimonials here. Cool. It's ready to go. It's not a world-class landing page, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to publish that, and just to show you that the domain is working correctly, so we have mindfulmuscle.co.uk. The updates are working there. If I click on claim my free spot, it goes into there, and then I can test that like this. And then that takes me to the next steps, which I'll need to edit next with the housekeeping instructions. Cool, so this is all taking shape. Next things, I just need to do this stuff, and we are ready to go. So we did the domain, the website, the landing page, all that stuff yesterday, and now I have got some promo videos, and I want to go back to my roadmap and show you what else we have to do, which is to create the promo posts, write out the remainder of the emails. I'll do that while I'm promoting because from the guidance in the modules, I've got 10 days from promoting to launching. So there's more than enough time to finish that stuff up, and I'm not going to sit and build in the cave to hold everything else up. I need to tidy up the roadmap that I've got, which I can do from that graphic, and then I need to just create the housekeeping section. So what you're looking at here is just a few like shower thoughts that I had between yesterday and today, thinking about some potential promo scripts. So what I'm going to do is put these into my content planner. So if I go up in here, I've got the content planner template, so I'm going to create a new one in there. So these are all for my challenge. We have the landing page video in there. Okay, so these are all rough scripts. Personally, I'm happy working to a rough script, kind of bullet points, but if I was struggling at this point, something that would massively save some time is, see in the bubble wrap, a £30 teleprompter where you can literally just put your phone on there and read it out. Or just use a teleprompter app on your phone, actually, if you're not using a camera. I forgot, I'm not meant to have a camera for this video, so I forget I even said anything. So we have those videos. I'm just going to set up the tripod and just have a go at these because we want to just keep things going. So I'm going to do these ones in vertical format, reason being that I'm going to be promoting them on the feed, either as ads where people are using mobile or as content on the feed as well. I haven't practiced these scripts. I'm going to completely going in blind, as always, just trying to make it as difficult as possible for myself. Okay, now let's put that on that side of the screen so that I can look at the script and just have a go. I'm also going to have some gaps between the lines so that I can just stitch it together. Stop. Put your hand here. Take a breath. Are you finding your chest is rising up and down? Do you think that's a relaxing way to breathe? How relaxed do you feel right now? Probably not very, because I've just called you out. The truth is, life is stressful. The biggest sources of stress: work, family, health, relationships, pretty much everything. What you're probably not aware of is that breath is the interface between. What you're probably not aware of is that you have a dial for the amount of stress you can experience, and it's right here. Breath is the interface between energy and consciousness. If you're half breathing, you're half conscious. It takes 48 minutes. So we've done that one, so recorded. We've got the lungs. Okay, so I need to add that in. Let's press that button if I can see that. No. Never want to be thinking that you're recording, just talking to your phone. When you're stressed at work, you breathe faster.
And likelihood is you're misusing it. Join me over the next 14 days and we can stop the cycle together for free. Click below or send me a DM if you want to find out more. Okay. And let's do the final one. The landing page video. Right, so for the landing page, I'm going to make it horizontal because the page is horizontal and it's not going to necessarily be on the feed. So let's press go. Is that recording? Yes. Great start to that video. Right. I'm going to include a viral clip from this shower idea here. So, do you ever feel like this? Join me over the next 14 days and I guarantee we will drop your stress levels 3 points out of 10. So from a 7 to a 4. Maybe you're feeling an 8 out of 10. Maybe you're feeling a 7 out of 10 stressed all the time right now. I'm going to bring that down to a 4 out of 10 with short, actionable breathing exercises that take you less than 30 seconds at a time. My name's Yusuf, you can see a little bit about my story above, and I've discovered a method that can be integrated into your day. So enter your details below, join for a free challenge. All I need from you is one thing: commitment to the process. The whole thing's going to take you less than 5 minutes a day, and do you think that's worth the improvement in your sleep, your stress, your recovery, your productivity, all in 14 days? So click above or below, enter your details, and I'll see you on the other side.
Great. So as you can tell, I'm not feeling particularly video-y today, but that took 9 minutes to make some of them. I've got a couple of those bait builder videos as well that I can reuse for the call to action. I can just change, and then I just need to edit those ones as well. So I'll edit those and show you the final product. Right, so there's the promo videos. They've been created, but I want to edit the videos now. That'll take me another 10 minutes or so like it did last time. Write out the remainder of the emails, fine. Create a rough roadmap. So this was the roadmap. I need to make this a little bit more actionable. So what I want to do is set it to vertical. That way I can then have this as the effects of stress, and then breath is the vehicle to reduce stress. So let's remove limiting beliefs because that's more of a marketing speak. We do that through breath pills. And that's over 14 days. And then the paid program, we've got our value statement, but this is what do we help them do in 6 weeks. That's when they start to see the improvements, not just in their subjective stress, but the actual outcomes, the kind of second order effects of this stuff. And then we want to say, after 1 year, what would they achieve? Then that would be mastery of that stuff. And what does that look like? I think it looks like a renewed relationship with self. They hopefully would be referring friends and experiencing all of the benefits of that, and that the breath pills become automatic. Then we can take them deeper into some more of the advanced exercises once they've mastered the basics. Okay, I mean, that'll do for a roadmap for now. It's really not perfect, but I want to basically highlight that someone has hit like stage 1. So let's maybe put that on here. Or phase 1. Phase 2, consciously using the compass. Phase 3, what can we call this one? Breath navigator. And phase 4, master. Yeah, fine. So that shows the 4 stages. It shows the kind of time frames. It's pretty ugly, but you know what? Let's just go with it. We'll create that roadmap. We'll stick it in the materials in there. So we'll put it in the Ask Master document now. The Ask Master. And then we can come back to that. All right, so how long has that taken? 6 minutes or so to finish that. We need to edit the videos, write out the remainder of the stuff. Oh, housekeeping. So let's go back to Pulse, and I need to create a housekeeping video for the thank you page. And the helpful guys at Propane have scripted the video for me. So I just need to say this stuff in this video. Okay, let's just do that now. I've got the tripod still set up, so let's go.
Hey, welcome aboard to the, what's this called? The 14-day breath challenge, stress transformation challenge. Hey, welcome aboard to the 14-day stress transformation challenge. I'm so pleased that you've made it. So there's a couple of things that you need to do before we can get started. Over the next few days, I'm going to be helping you to reduce your stress by 30%. You just need to commit to the exercises and we'll get there. I will be your personal coach over the next 14 days as well, so feel free to shoot me a message about any questions or problems that you're having. I need your full focus. You can't passively consume this material and expect to get a result. So, to make sure that you see everything, make sure that... All right, speak to you soon.
Okay, so there's the housekeeping video. So what I need to do now is create a Facebook group. So if I go groups, create, and let's call it Workplace Stress Workshop. And let's make it private for now, while I'm still creating it. Okay, create. I'm going to use this image as the header in here. Although I've just noticed it says, shoot me a DM. So do I need to change that? Here. Say, welcome aboard everyone. Checklist, make sure you've done all these things. Say hi below and tell us a bit about your goals. And then I don't need the link to join because they're in the group. Cool, so let's post that. And I'm going to pin that to the featured post. There we go. But now we have, in theory, a landing page that collects information, sends people to that thank you page, they join this group, and then we can start speaking to them in a cordoned off, quiet VIP room where we can deliver the materials in the challenge. Great. So we're whipping through this. Anything else that we need to do? Write out the remainder of the emails. Fine. And we can use the template for that. So you know what? This video is getting a bit long, but I want to just wrap it all up. So let's go to the templates that were mentioned in here. So I remember seeing in the modules that there are templates within the memberships section. So if I go into 14-day challenge, I can see an example of the emotion objection handling. Great. So what I'm going to do is copy that and paste it into my Ask roadmap for now, Craig David. So he achieved dropped in his stress levels, stopped his panic attacks, and improved his work performance in 6 weeks without long breathwork practices. Here's exactly what. So we've got most people have tried meditation or Wim Hof breathing before. It's all the rage. Here's why it doesn't work. Excuse me for a moment, boss. I'm just going to have a cold dip and I'll get back to you. Great. Next thing is going back to day 8. So day 11, still not convinced. Here's a few examples of people I've worked with one-to-one. Day 12, day 13, okay, and then final one. Right, done. So let's go back to this. We've written out that, we've created the landing page, the domain, the promo posts, the emails, the roadmap, the housekeeping section. I just need to edit those promo videos, and then we've got a challenge ready to go. Okay, let's take a look at what needs to be done. So we have the videos to edit. We want to send out the promotional emails to new people who join and create the test retest. So let's start with the videos, because these were the promotional videos and it's basically to sort this out. So initially we are doing social media and video promotions. Eventually we're going to move on to ads, sending people to the sign up page, which is correctly set up now. We've done the group. We've got that in place. Email automation, I'm going to skip for now. I'm just going to send them out manually, and everything else is all working. We have things ready for the paid program, and I've created the payment link for that as well. So let's go back to the video that we made as a bait builder here. Now I can just modify this slightly and add free 14-day workshop to transform, or free 14-day stress destroyer workshop. I can't remember what I called it last time, but DM to enter. And I'm doing DM so that I can open the conversation channel and then send people the link, and then I've got a touch point with them as well. Otherwise I could do link in bio as well. If I didn't want to do DMs, that would be fine. Add a button or something as well. So, or an ad. Yep. Should we use that? Oh, that's a bit big. So now I can re-export that video as a challenge promo video. We've got this one as well, so I can do the same thing. I'm just gonna copy these elements. Let's say DM to join. Limited spots. So let's just let them transcribe and then we can do some edits on them. Okay, so we have this one. Let's remove retakes. Okay, applied those edits. Let's also shorten word gaps in there. Right, now let's have a look on double speed.
Stop. Put your hand here. Take a breath. Are you finding your chest is rising up and down? So click below or send me a message to find out more.
Okay, fine. Let's just add some captions in there as well. We need to make them portrait. Okay, fine. I'm not overly happy with this one, but I'm not going to overthink it.
When you're stressed at work, you breathe faster. And likelihood is you're misusing your lungs and you're continuing.
So this was one that I thought needed a hook. So I've gone to TikTok, I've searched the word stress, and this one
Stress doesn't come
good.
from hard work. Stress primarily comes from not taking action over something that you can have some control over. Stress doesn't come...
Fine. So we can include that as the hook for this one. So I'm going to drag that into there. We want it in there, don't we? So
Stress doesn't come from hard work. Stress primarily comes from not taking action over something that you can have some control over.
The lungs are your secret weapon to fighting stress at work. Poor breathing during the day means poor sleep. Join me over the next 14 days and we can stop the cycle together.
fine. So there's one version, and I also wanted to add another hook
Do you ever feel like this? Join.
into this, which was someone looking stressed. So
I am stressed, my heart's beating out my chest, veins popping out of my neck, I need some sleep, I need some rest. The whole earth's on my nerves, and I might just go berserk, working too much, do the dishes and the...
okay, that sounds good. We also maybe want someone screaming. That's maybe a bit aggressive.
Okay, what is it? Clue. What?
Not quite what we need though. I think those hooks are a little bit too much, aren't they? Okay, that might actually do the job.
Do you ever feel like this? Join me over the next 14 days and we will take your stress from this to this.
Oh, so that's
Stress from this to this. Over the next 14 days and we will take your stress from this to this. That's my guarantee if you follow these short exercises that will take you less than 30 seconds at a time.
great.
So enter your details below, join for a free challenge. All I need from you is one thing: commitment to the process. The whole thing's going to take you less than 5 minutes a day. So click above or below, enter your details, and I'll see you on the other side.
Fine. And then we have this one, which is the housekeeping video.
Hey, welcome aboard to the 14-day stress transformation challenge. I'm so pleased that you've made it. So there's a couple of things that you need to do. Started.
I'm going to add some captions and export that. So all of those are exporting. We've pretty much done what we need to on that side. Final thing is, so we've edited those videos. We need to sort out the promotional emails and create the test retest. So in the modules, we have the test retest in here, and there's a template for a radar chart. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate that. So let's say make a copy, and this is Stress Destroyer Challenge as the test retest. And then gonna have some tests here. Let's call it Stress Destroyer. So I like cravings, that's definitely one we can use. We also want to have daytime work stress, home stress, sleep quality. I could play around with the units and things too, but right now that works, and we can talk through the graph with people on the live workshop. So I'm happy enough with that. I'm going to use that as my test retest. So what I'm going to do is say baseline test, and I can either say copy this to your Google Workspace or post your numbers below for day one. Now I could get fancy and automate it and have a form that maps to everything, but right now let's just keep it simple. I'll post this again when we post day one of the challenge. Then the final thing is the promotional schedule. So when people actually sign up, what are the emails they're going to receive? So exciting news, challenge, explain the benefits, make sure they join the group before Monday. So this is all just the get ready for the challenge emails, and there's some templates in here as well, so I can easily adapt these for now. So what I'll do is I'll copy this and paste them into the bottom of this. I can set my challenge start date, so I'm going to make it April the 1st, 2024, so that we've got time to create that stuff. And then we can send out the SMS saying, hey everyone, welcome, the welcome emails. And then we have a complete promotion schedule, videos, sign up page, group, email automation, private feed, paid program, roadmap, all built. And the whole thing has taken a few hours. It's been pretty painless. So all that's left to do now is run those promotion videos that I've edited, start posting them, start rallying people to get into the challenge. We have the start date, we have the automations ready, we have the videos recorded. And then for the first round, I'm just going to post the videos day by day, engage with people, run the live workshop on day 5, and then phase 2, book people onto the paid coaching call. And that is our first challenge run. So from that point onwards, we onboard people onto the group for the 6-week program. We then can start running ads with cold leads and start building in a little bit more automation each time until I'm ready to scale the ad budget. And then once we're running the ads, it's just a case of how many clients do I want and how much am I willing to spend to acquire them. So what I would do, and I'm going to wrap up the speed run here because I feel like I've made my point, is I would then run the challenge with the ad spend, fill in the numbers in here, and then make decisions based on the conversion make some tweaks, troubleshoot with the hot seats, with my coach, to figure out how I can sharpen the saw, improve my offer, improve the automations, free up more of my time, and optimize my ads. Okay, it was an absolute pleasure making this speed run for you, and if you've made it to the end, I'm actually really impressed. So there's only one thing left. Get in touch with us. Book in a call. So click on the link below in the description. We would love to chat with you. It'll be with either myself or one of the team, and we can take the next steps towards basically implementing everything you've just seen into your own business. All right, speak soon.